dive, but just clearing the first section of this site. Now into the backlines for Forsaken, just needing the kills like dough or something.
Nah, come on.
Now the flank becomes the biggest factor in this round. pacar will work their way back on through, and the dog doesn't clear the close corner. Tamazi has already found one and has more for his troubles ahead of him. Support from a flash across the way. It's from downtown, an extraterrestrial even making his mark on the round. That was good enough for government work.
No.
And they're gonna finish this off. Munyet gets two, and it's a quick rotation back over towards this B site. Plant should come down in time, but there's one Mind Freak ahead. He's on the angle, will find a shot and knocks him out of the park. Last man standing in a 1v3. Doesn't have much a chance at this one. Nade forward, flash on his line. Narrate on the swing, already gets a double and cuts it down to a 1v1 to Vi. Biding his time on a drop. This is a very long clip, and I'm still happy I did all the words, but Tavai wins it.
I thought you were gonna like work extra. I can't say that word.
Extraterrestrial.
Yeah, with like Mind Free. I thought you were gonna maybe do something.
I'm not that smart, so
something
maybe
like
you should have done it.
Yeah, I can't even pronounce
Well,
the
I
word.
demand a recount because you started with negotiate, not
demand a
negotiation.
recount.
You didn't even read the word correctly.
Negotiate.
Oh.
Negotiate. It's a different conjugation.
The word.
You-
Minus 30, I just got it in. Minus 30.
Kevin said it was Kevin. It wasn't on us. But Hybox, since you think you can do better, how about we
Well,
take a look at your round?
yeah.
This is
Do
going to
you
be.
think you can
Once I see
it's
my
going to be
words,
Loud
maybe.
versus EDG here.
Oh, this is so free.
This
so
is
free. Look at
actually
these
really
words.
free.
This is teed up. But Loud EG.
EDG.
I'm worried about the round. Is it going to be another long one or?
Here we go.
Oh, we're on this round, so she's right. So 6-2 to score. Round 9. See, looking now for a little bit of pressure towards A main. Slow creep. Tui's here with the operator. Trying to distribute some of that pressure ahead of this site coming through. Not an awful lot happening on this.
How's
Thank
he
you very
distributing
much
the
for
pressure?
choosing this clip in particular, because we're frozen right now outside. Tui's pick onto nobody, able to TP away now. EDG looking to counteract this. Trying to shift their transmission into the top gear
Boo.
ahead of this site here. A little bit cheesy on there, but now actually Smoggy acting as a taxi for the spike.
I like it.
Yeah. Coming through here. A very slow round actually. Why don't we pick this one? 55 seconds left on the clock now. TP coming across. Howdong into site now. Spike still not taxied into A site, but finally making its way in.
Double whammy, Mike.
Actually, fault line coming through. That's going to distribute some of the players on site elsewhere, but no pressure coming through. Spike finally coming through. Clip is lasting quite a while as well. 26 HP left on Kang. Shut out here by QCK. 77 HP. I've already done the words, so I'm just going to keep talking over this clip. Unless you want me to redo one, you can tell me now. if
You want to
me
do her words? Extraterrestrial? Negotiation?
Okay, well, actually, yeah, Loud currently in negotiation for the retake coming through. Utility invested here. QCK going to drop Smoggy. Can't remember the other words here, but I think one was extraterrestrial. Howdon not looking so much so. Shut down here. What was your last
stunning
word?
introduction of extraterrestrial by saying.
And load, get the dough. Load, get the dough. Loud, get the dough.
Load, get the dough. Now, I've
A
confirmed.
Freudian slip at the end. Do I get deducted for that?
I actually have confirmed that neither of us won, and
We're
No,
both
you,
losers.
you don't
Okay,
have the power
okay.
to do that because I confer with Tactabani, who was the judge
Okay.
of wordplay, and he told me that given that you're minus 30 points, I think Mike won it, but just the fracture of minus 25.
I like both being losers.
So
better.
there's a
People
minus
lost.
5 point in between you, but
But
well
here's the
done.
thing: at the end of the day, really, the viewers lost.
Yes, because they had to endure that. Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, well,
we
let's move on to something else because following Monday's matches, we did a draw for the double elimination playoffs bracket coming into this, and it is a clean slate for our top 4 teams. This is the thing: we've seen these matchups regionally before, but we haven't seen them internationally just yet. And there is also a lot of history with all 4 of those teams. But let's start with the easy one. Loud, Mimi, they won world championships, and they're back here again with a different iteration of this roster, but still making top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something new for this Loud roster. It seems like they're always running back, no matter who the players on the team are. Sidak will lead a squad into the top 4 to get to this point. And I mean, this game versus EDG for them was proof of that. Loud, I think, have continued to get better and better every game we've watched of them this tournament. And I mean, this match against EDG was just dominant.
Yeah, time and time again we talk about Loud maybe having a slower start. Masters events particularly, and kind of bubbling up towards playoffs and stuff, but I don't think we've ever seen such a performance versus a team like EDG to really bounce back.
And
Yeah, on the other side as well, looking at HyperX, because they've still not won a title. It's eluded them every single time. Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of nonsense that they haven't made it through yet. Obviously, last year coming the closest, but Are you really sold that this is the championship winning team? That's the question I come into the playoffs, particularly with about PaperX.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to say, right? Because most of their wins in the group stage were relying on heroics, on crazy step-ups towards the end. We haven't seen them come out and like really dominate another top team yet. But it's PaperX. It's so hard to ever count this team out.
Yeah, and lastly for Gen G and Sentinels, they haven't. Well, I mean, Sentinels. It's been a very, very long time since we've seen them won a title. But how did Gen G get here? They made top 4.
I mean, they looked great regionally, and then they came out here. They upset Loud when they were looking weaker, and then they also beat an EDG in a 2-1 series there. For me, I haven't seen quite a ton of Gen G yet. It's really hard to place in my mind where they're going to be in these playoffs.
Absolutely great. I remember saying coming out of after the win over Loud, thinking that actually Gen G's performance in the follow-up series kind of gave context to Loud losing that.
Yes.
It's anyone's game, I feel like, at this point. And that brings us to today's MasterCard fan poll. We got 2 regional rematches on deck, and we want to know which match you think will go the distance. We're going to go 3 maps, maybe both matches. We get 3 mappers as well. So scan the QR code on your screen and cast your vote, and we will have the results a little bit later on. Also, make sure to use the hashtags MasterMadrid and VCT so we can feature you guys on the broadcast as well. Keep those tweets coming. Keep those tweets coming. But there's 2 people I feel like are never wrong. They have never been wrong ever in history.
Yeah, that's got to be us, right?
And there's 2 people that have been very wrong. And let's send it over to them. It's Brand and Sideshow. See if they can accurately predict the future. It's time for bracketology.
Hello and welcome to Bracketology. I definitely didn't almost trip over the board that we've got over there. Stage 2 Playoffs Edition. You may have just taken a sneak peek at my notebook. Don't worry about that. John Riot's given me some hidden instructions.
The script?
Potentially the script.
What you got in there?
What have we got in it? Well, number 1 is a regional matchup, rematch of the grand finals, because the fans love regional rematches of the grand finals.
Well, get them in early.
So
get them in early.
Yeah, we got them in early. The second one was no EMEA in top 4.
Okay, that's good.
Riot hates EMEA.
Okay, that's
so
good.
we got that one out early.
All right.
So we got those 2. What next? PaperX lose in the grand finals.
Ah, that's tragic for them,
so
unfortunately.
PaperX, they make it to the grand finals. We don't know how yet, but they need to be in the grand finals.
I think they'll probably make it through the lower bracket because Gen G are favoured, in my opinion, in this match.
Okay, but there's one team that needs to make a lower bracket run because John Riot really loves it when Sentinels play the most matches possible.
So SEN make it all the way through the lowers?
Yeah, Sentinels are going to lose their opening matchup. They're going to go all the way through the lowers into the grand finals.
But if PaperX lose the grand finals, that means SEN already win.
Yeah, so SEN are going to win the grand finals. Unfortunately for viewership, it needs to happen, which means that Loud ends up winning here, but then they end up... So how does
PaperX must go through the top?
Yeah, but this is good. This is good because teams that do well in scrims, they need to go out early. So Gen G have been undefeated in scrims. They've got to go out in 2.
Oh,
so this is perfect. Perfect according to the script. We're right on schedule right now, honestly.
So then that sets up another Loud v Sentinels at the bottom.
Loud v Sen matchup.
Well,
and then
Loud won.
Loud won, Loud lose. It's a repeat of the America storyline. Yeah. So Sentinels win.
Oh, that is brutal.
Yeah,
but it fits every narrative.
It fits every narrative that we could possibly want. I've seen nothing wrong with this whatsoever.
Got it.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it.
I mean, I said they're never right, but they whipped out the John Riot script, Mimi. Will they be right this time?
I mean, if you just look at history, you know they're going to be right. Every storyline they said there has come true in the past. It has to come true again. PaperX has to be second place, you know. Sentinels have to win for the... It just makes sense to me.
Sense. That's not what I got from that, but we'll move on. We'll wait and see, right?
And speaking of storylines, let's just dive into our first matchup of the day. It is the Pacific Grand Finals kickoff rematch between Gen G and PaperX. And surprisingly, Mike, when we saw this last time, it was not PaperX that came out on top.
No, I think that was probably I don't want to say the big upset ahead of this, but I guess the fashion in which they closed out that series was very indicative. Obviously, the individual perform on this Gen G roster was what carried them through to a pretty comfortable scoreline in the regional finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was a PaperX at the time who I think was really still trying to figure themselves out. They were doing a lot of, and they kind of still are, right? They were doing this thing that we saw at the beginning of last season too, where they're pulling out all these new different comps. They're kind of trying to discover who they are again. And Gen G, on the other hand, they came out swinging this season. They had really clear identity the entire time they were playing in Pacific. They are a structured team that has very good mid-rounding, that has very good fundamentals, finals and has players that can absolutely pop up. And I feel like all of those storylines have continued through to their run here in Madrid thus far. It's the same style of play. It's the same performances from players like Texture, from Aghann. But the other thing is that PaperX have really improved in the time since that grand finals.
Well, this is the thing about PaperX, of course. They thought maybe after DRX getting knocked out, they will be the one to take the title, take the crown, but it did not happen. However, we did hear from Coach Alex after the press conference when he found out that they will be facing Gen.G again, and this is what he had to say. I hope this time around we manage to shut Texture down, beat up Caron, try our best. They really manhandled us last finals, and we hope we get it right this time. I mean, Mike, for the sake of their tournament run, we do hope they get it right this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think individually, I mean, identifying the threats here, Texture and Caron both individually, I think, are having a top 5 performance so far at this event. Quietly, Caron, Texture more so the headliner, but the concern being really for PaperX is around who is that front line, right? With all this kind of composition shifting, and I don't want to say losing themselves a little bit, but trying to figure out what the next step of W Gaming is, which Alex has said time and time again. It's a hot discussion right now of whether or not PaperX are actually on the right track to find sustainable improvement.
I mean, it's easier said than done, but for more on PaperX, let's send it over to Mika Fabs, who caught up with Mindfreak.
Hey, Mindfreak, what's going on? Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling alright.
All right, so Gen.G, of course, gave a very strong performance against PRX in the Pacific Finals, which wasn't too long ago. What do you think is different with PRX this time around, and why shouldn't Gen.G assume that they're fighting the same team?
I think actually we feel the same, like nothing is different, because like right now, like we said before, our team performance is not our peak performance yet, so maybe right now we're just playing in not in their home turf, so yeah.
All right, well, let's see what happens. Good luck.
Thank you.
I mean, if they're the same, they lost, right? So Mimi, this doesn't seem like a good sign.
Yeah, it's so weird. PaperX's tournament has had the lowest confidence we've ever seen from them. Alex comes on the desk, he's like, yeah, the boys have no confidence, we're a 6 out of 10, we just don't have it. But seemingly, they lack all that confidence, and every series they've played at Madrid thus far, they somehow find it in themselves, the second half of map 3, and then promptly lose it again.
Yeah, it's so strange to, and we were talking about that, you know, not really knowing where to place Gen.G, but PaperX has always had this kind of image, like, what PaperX do we get, right? I mean, we've seen examples here. The second half of Split versus Heretics is like one of the peaks of PaperX, to be honest, on the international stage, in my eyes. The way they performed in that second half is up there with some of their best performances, but I mean, they're saying they lack confidence. They're at a 6 out of 10 right now. They're making weird composition changes that don't really make a lot of sense from the outside looking in. And then we get to interviews and they're like, yeah, we kind of don't know what we're doing at times, but it worked.
Yeah, but that then brings us to the question you were asking earlier, Mike, of like, what is the next step for this team? Because that's what Alex was
logical
saying, right?
next step, but then you throw logic out the window because it's PaperX.
Yeah, that's the thing. But when you try and apply logic to this team, it doesn't make sense. For instance, some of the comps they're playing, they're running a comp on Lotus with no Sentinel, playing double Duelist,
and still with the Sky
without
as
a
well.
Viper, with the old Sky. Like, so many of the decisions they're making seem so off. And in the past, when we've seen PaperX make these decisions, we get things like they're like Reina Sky comps where they're cooking, they're coming up with something creative. But nowadays, it really does feel like some of these ideas are slipping through the cracks. But that stands in contrast to moments where this team is looking incredible. Yeah. Like you brought up, that second half of Split. I think when they're playing on Bind, that comp, very well thought through, very well cooked. PaperX really seems like a team in transition right now that it's, again, so hard to figure out where to place them because of that.
I'm just gonna, I mean, I'm an OG paper girl. I'm gonna come in and maybe channel a bit of paper thin as well for this. Is that every single time people do have those questions, is this the end of W Gaming? When do they stop getting away with this? They get away with it. So, I mean, you know, we've seen it. We've been here before. We've been there before.
I still think they're the most entertaining team to watch.
I think that's kind of undisputable.
Yeah, but when you hear them coming out and talking the way they're talking, that's when you make them doubt a little bit.
Yeah, and we got to talk about Forsaken as well, because Forsaken has been on it, and we've seen the rays come out of him, Mimi, for the first time here.
Yeah, I think in terms of things that have improved since that Pacific Final, Forsaken is a big piece of that. He wasn't doing too great when they played regionally, and at Masters Madrid, this guy has shown showed up and looked incredible. He's picking up the Rays. He's playing seemingly every role possible. The guy playing the most agents in this tournament right now, and he looks electric on all of them, while also being a big voice in this team, Mike.
Yeah, I think as well, if this is an indicator for kind of maybe rethinking some of the compositions, obviously Monyet having a different place within the team, putting Forsaken back in, I don't want to say the driving seat now that Jing's gone, but maybe building some compositions that are more focused around Forsaken and his current performance and form could be the key for Paper.
And we've seen that, right? They're switching him onto Rays on maps. They're giving him those moments where he can be confident. And these are the things we have to walk away from. That is why PaperX is a contender, because they're stepping up. Because even if someone's having a bad tournament, you still have Forsaken, you still have Monyet, you still have guys who will step up and win these games, even against the best.
Yeah, and the thing is, you say put him on. He's putting himself on those things. Alex even said it's Forsaken that comes up with this kind of stuff. And Genji's Munchkin actually had an opinion of Forsaken's Rays, and I don't think you can get a higher praise, Hypog, on a Rays than saying that you look like Jing.
Yeah, that's up there with some of the best accolades you can receive. Again, it comes down to the sustainability for me. Is what is the go-to? What is kind of the I guess the new form of these compositions, and whether or not Forsaken switching onto the Rays is something they adopt across the rest of the map pool, or not something now with picking up the Gecko more and more, if that's something that he tries to adopt a little more. What is the change?
Yeah, the last time Texture caused them a lot of problems back at the Pacific Final. And speaking of Texture, let's send it back to Mika Fabs, who's waiting to hear from Texture, actually. Check this out.
Hey Texture, come over here for a bit. Hope you're feeling good because today is going to be a big day. This is the strongest that Genji has looked so far. A lot of people think the same thing. What do you think contributes to the team's success here at this tournament? And we have Eric here to help with some translation.
지금 현재 젠지가 정말 좋은 경기력을 보이고 있는데 지금까지 젠지가 이런 성과를 거둘 수 있는 데 있어서 가장 큰 요인은 뭐라고 생각하시나요?
그냥 저희끼리 소통 잘하고 그냥 총 잘 쏘는 거 그게 다인 것 같습니다.
Honestly, I think it's just us talking really well and hitting our shots really well. I think that's it.
All right, well, eager to see what you guys have prepared for PaperX. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I mean, this is the thing with PaperX. They had a bit of confidence issues. They admit they're struggling, but Mimi, Genji are on the other side of the scale. They look and feel great right now.
Yeah, and in particular, all of the win conditions from Pacific have continued into this one. People ask, is Karen as a rookie going to be able to show up and look incredible? He's done that. Is Texture going to be able to maintain this performance? He's shown up. He's done that. I think there can be, though, an argument made that maybe they played some weaker opposition, right? They played teams when they weren't at their height. It was Loud in their first match of this event. It was an EDG who was really looking like they were crumbling towards the end of that series. But I think that's not what I focus on. What I focus on is that they're on an international stage. They're playing against a variety of different styles, a variety of different opponents, and I think they're doing still a very good job of maintaining this structured style that they perfected in Pacific while still having the individuals to pop off when they need them.
Sure, I mean, I would counter that by saying bringing a team like this with, I guess, the international experience that some of these teams do have, to come out and beat Loud, regardless of form, qualifying to Madrid, Loud, that's got to be a big bonus for them. And the key thing for me is seeing the energy on stage. It matches how Genji looked at regional as well. I mean, the opening series-wise, they struggled versus Secret, but still, the energy was super high. Karen was having standout performances time and time again. Munchkin and Texture alongside that. For me, they're looking very comfortable.
I mean, let's talk about Karen a bit more, because on day one, we did say, how does he compare to the other rookies? We had a lot of exciting prospects coming from every single region, and now we've seen him in the group stage. How does he compare?
He looks just as good. Quite honestly, he looks just as good. He could even look better in some of these games. He's still winning these clutches. He's still a consistent fragger. But what I want to talk about more is his presence on the stage. You look at these clips. Every time his team is winning, even when his team is losing, this guy's standing up. He's screaming at the opponents. He's bringing the energy. He's such a young guy. This is his first global event. He's a guy they found in ranked, but he's bringing the vibe against the best. And having a player like that is so important for any team.
And he's dropping some cold lines. Well, was it before Loud? It's like, yeah, well, they won a championship when I wasn't even playing.
Exactly.
So he's coming out here. He's got the energy.
Too cold.
He's transcend that to the rest of his team as well, and also mimicking that with his performance. In my eyes, I mean, I'll go ahead and say we're only entering playoffs now, but I don't think we've had such a quietly consistent performance from a standout controller rookie, obviously outside of Duelist, at any international event so far. I can't think of any
If
rookie-wise.
he keeps this up, I really think he's in the conversation for like best rookie performance. I mean,
Absolutely.
Demon One probably last year was the next best thing, but this guy's
Demon
getting
One
close to keeping up that kind of performance.
Hey, he was barely competing when Demon One was winning as well. So
that's even crazy.
We keep saying it's a new era. So.
Yeah, that is the other thing. But it's time for the result of our MasterCard fan poll. Earlier, we asked you if today's regional matches would go the distance, and you said that you believe the Sentinels versus Loud One will. And I feel like, Mike, I think both games will.
Yeah, fingers crossed for both.
Yeah,
that would have been me for sure. No shock to see Sentinels and
The
Loud
thing is,
winning a Twitter poll.
people who don't think Genji and HyperX are going to go to 3, who do you think's going to 2 out?
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
That's a tough call.
Probably Genji.
I feel like probably,
Yeah,
but still, I feel like general fan sentiment has been very high on HyperX still.
Yeah, we won't have to wait long to find out. But first, let's find out today's map pool and check in with Victoria and our coaches.
All right, welcome to the
Class,
first
class,
map
class,
select
class,
presented
class.
by Omen of playoffs at Masters Madrid. Genji, you are the higher seed as you came into playoffs 2-0 from Swiss. So would you like Team A or Team B?
Team B.
Team B. So PaperX, you will be Team A, and we will start with your first band.
Icebox.
Icebox. Your band.
Sunset.
Sunset. And map number 1 from PaperX.
Split.
Split. Side on split.
Attack.
Attack. And map number 2.
Lotus.
Lotus. Side on Lotus.
Attack.
Attack. Next set of bands starting with PaperX, you have Ascent, Bind, and Breeze.
Band Breeze.
Band Breeze. Your band, you have Ascent and Bind.
Oh no.
Tinggal Ascent sama apa? Lupa gua.
이게 Band Bind.
Band Bind. Map
Oh,
number 3 by
band-
default
yeah,
is
band.
Ascent. PaperX, side on Ascent.
Attack.
Attack. All right, good luck to you both.
Well, we've seen these maps already when they played against each other last time, not in the same order, and Amimi Split is going to come up first, the one that PaperX did actually manage to win.
Yeah, for Split, honestly, that's a map I don't have too many questions about. Both these teams play very similar.
All-in PRX, anjim.
I think what we should be fixating on this
97
series is Lotus, because PaperX have struggled to figure that map out. We were talking about it earlier, Mike, but last time they played that double duelist,
All-in.
double controller with no Viper,
Let's go.
no Killjoy, they got ripped to pieces by K-Core, and K-Core is excellent at Lotus. But I think that map, to me, is the pinnacle of where PaperX is still trying to find themselves, where they don't have a comp that really works. I think that weakness in the map pool could really be exploited today.
Absolutely agree with that. I mean, it was a real head scratcher to see the way that they played that comp as well. It wasn't as if, we've got the Sky, we're going to front load some of these rounds and be hyper aggressive, guarantee that we're in our sights, let the Astra kind of flourish it in a post-plant scenario, but it's
Let's go.
It's a bit concerning if they don't change that up. But the next question then becomes, it's like, where do they go again? Have they now had the time to re-prep? We know PaperX can turn around comps very, very quickly, but it just feels like such a big gap between where they were versus KC and where they need to be to make Lotus not a glaring concern in their map pool.
I will also say, though, Alex in the press conference, he said the Lotus comp that they did end up coming out with against KC, it was a Hail Mary. He was like, we are struggling.
That's just so terrifying to hear.
We had to do something, and was it good enough?
Well, for Lane,
no, it wasn't. Quite frankly, it wasn't. They got rolled by Carmen Core, and I don't think the comp was good. But the thing is, it's PaperX, and I hate to say that because I love to be the person like, oh, they're not playing good comps, they're gonna lose. They're the team that's up. But the thing is that this team, seemingly, even when they have that ball, the maps that they have no business winning, they continue to win at this event.
And that's the thing. That's the hot topic right now. Is like, oh, you guys keep down PaperX, and they always end up getting themselves.
Because it's the logical thing to do.
It's the logical thing to do, but they are the team to defy logic.
Yeah.
I just that Lotus comp is the one that's a bit. out the window.
Sure.
In my eyes, that's a little too far past it to really justify. But also not taking nothing away from Carmine Core being a fantastic Lotus team. Maybe it was exposed, exponentially more so than another team.
I want to pull out from the map veto for a second and just talk about this rematch. I mean, first of all, yes, he's correct. But also for Gen.G, think about what this would mean. If they could beat PaperX a second time. For so many of those players, it's their first time on an international stage. It's their biggest match. They made it to playoffs when so many people doubted them, and now they're again playing basically the kings of their region. If they could beat them a second time here in Madrid, make it into the upper finals, guarantee a top 3 spot at the tournament, that would be an incredible moment for this squad.
Yeah, I think as well when you think about teams and their first step onto the international stage or players individually, you talk about kind of validations, what does it? And claiming an international veteran like PaperX would be the second leg to closing out the grand finals regionally versus them in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the fan votes here. Gen.G fans, where are you at? Also, shout out to Ulysses, by the way, who's currently hyping out the Gen.G fans and the PaperX fans as well. But where do you guys sit with here? Are you 11% feeling like Gen.G?
I think Gen.G's going to win today. I feel like they're favored in this matchup. I think especially looking at this map pool, seeing that Lotus has made its way in.
Yeah.
Gen.G have just been so consistent throughout 2024. Their players have been stepping up to a new level, and it really feels like at some point the PaperX magic won't be able to work anymore.
This is the thing, it comes back to the same old for me. My heart says PaperX, my head says Gen.G, unfortunately. I think as well, if some of these individuals on Gen.G continue their performance or even, start improving on the performance we've seen far, bubbling up with the tournament now coming into playoffs, a little bit more prep time. That's a real concern for PaperX if they're going to try and pull out some comp changes or really switch up the way they've been playing, if they've gone into that level of detail of the games we've seen already here in Madrid.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We do have also another curse. We got the 9-3 curse. We have a few curses in this tournament. But whenever there's a rematch, whenever that happens, it does feel like the team that's lost before is somewhat favored going into it again.
Yeah, there certainly is. I think there's a pressure to do more, to improve, to look back on that match and learn from it. And PaperX is a lot better than that. The individuals have stepped up. They've gotten closer to finding their identity.
Lebih rame daripada yang kemarin ya.
I think that this is
a win
for PaperX. That
Playoff style and Chiox.
Here, make it on forward. This is finally the game where it can kind of dispel the
get
doubts
around
this team, around if they can do it again, on if they just have to rely on these hero plays, especially if they can do so dominantly or in 2 against Gen.G, which I think will be really tough against a good opponent.
I don't think this is too hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any world where that happens, but if they can come out here and get a confidence win, not only is that people looking at them better, but for themselves, right? They're still rating themselves a 6 out of 10.
Exactly.
They're still low confidence. I think
always
they need
a 10
a win
out of 10
today.
to me. Always.
No bias on the desk here at all. But no, I absolutely agree. I think as well, it's really telling if to hear PaperX talk the way they haven't spent these last few days trying to reinvent the wheel almost, because that's the level of extreme I think need to go to. To hear Alex saying W Gaming's run its course, we need something else. Now's the time to pull it out.
And as you said, Mimi, this might just be the one that actually gives them the confidence that they need. We are down to our final 4.
Nah, ini walk out.
Let's go. It's Gen.G versus PaperX and Sentinels taking on Loud. Day 6 of Masters Madrid.
Let's go. Nah, ini dia. Woo! Gelo. Kedengeran nggak sih? Harusnya kedengeran ya.
Dap each other real quick.
What?
High five each other real quick.
I remember playing against you guys in streams back in Iceland.
Yeah.
It's been a while since
It's been a hot minute. Yeah.
I remember you guys were insane back then. I'm super happy you guys are here representing the night with us. It's good for a change.
Nobody is standing in Loud's way as Loud make their way to the playoffs easily.
Com certeza, acho que essa última partida foi o nosso pico de performance até agora no nosso time novo.
Sentinels have done it. Sen City here to play.
At this point, everyone wants to beat us. So far, it hasn't worked out for them, and I don't think it will.
Cara, a adaptação do QCK tá sendo muito boa. Eu acho que ele nasceu pra jogar com o duelista.
At the end of the day, anyone can like take it and win it. It's Valorant, so it's true. Just who plays better that day.
나도 선글라스 끼면 돼? 근데 원태가 되게 깔끔하고 좋아. 깔끔한데 선글라스가 저팔려. 안돼 상범형.
Can we win the Masters between me and Genji? I mean, definitely. And even if we don't make it far, I hope they do win the trophy for us for the Asia Pacific League.
Last game against Genji was a pet final, and we didn't manage to win. 플레이오프에 진출이 원래는 첫 목적이었는데.
Genji, this team looks scary. Valakia, it is a return to greatness.
This gua kepengen tekstur off day.
Monyet played very well, especially with his calls and stuff. Like he's very confident, unlike the previous matches.
Gelo transisinya boy. Anjay, Abang Lis.
You're not gonna meet the same PaperX.
일단 저희가 이제 딱히 증명을 해야 될 필요는 없는 것 같고요. 그냥 네, 뭐 무시당할 그것도 없는 것 같아요.
Anjay, ting ning 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 ning. Genji.
We've seen this matchup before.
Let's go.
The king of Pacific, but this is a different stage and a stage that PaperX
Rematch.
For their first time, people could write that off as said it's a one-time run, but now they're here in Madrid. They've done it again. They've made it to playoffs. They have another chance. I think if they can beat PaperX today, they can cement themselves as the best team from Pacific coming into this event, as a team who could compete for that title. But they're up against a PaperX that no matter how logical you think about them, no matter what you think is going to happen with this team, they always surprise. They always find that miracle, and that's what makes playing them so damn scary.
Yeah, PaperX is the definition of any given Sunday, really, of what you get on the day, especially now we're thrown into the mix of
Siapa itu?
potentials for composition changes to come out. PaperX looking back at their previous performances, not feeling fantastic about it. Genji now don't necessarily have a very familiar opponent in that regard.
What other team will play a comp for the first time after scrimming it once and then show up and look terrible in the first half, win in the second? Not to the same level. Not to the same level, though, man. They show up, they make a miracle happen, and then you'll talk to them after and like, yeah, we just weren't feeling it. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, on the veins of Navi, Angel, he does currently hold the record for the most agents played in a single tournament, but Forsaken is one away. If he just whips out a seventh, a different agent here,
we see that.
By the way, in half the amount of maps too, because Angel did it in 21.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that is the key. Like you guys said, Forsaken, he has been creating a lot of the stuff here, and at least
Gelo, flex banget anjir.
Yeah, definitely. I think just to double on from that, the real test for Genji would be as well if PaperX do completely especially the fact that we're starting where we are to start on Split. If that composition gets changed, it'll be another validation.
Let's go.
Obviously, prep out the window and just perform bread and butter Valorant, which they've shown time and time again. They've looked very, very clean so far here at Madrid in terms of curveballs coming their way. They can do that versus a team like HyperX that are willing to just kind of push all in on a comp first time, bringing it out on international stage. Massive bounce.
The thing is, normally when we say that on a desk or on a cast about, oh, you have to do it against HyperX.
Hello.
They've played this team twice before. They know about the chaos and they've adapted to it very
Anjir, mirror.
And it's
Agent Chokes.
It's double duelist style. It's the
Mirror.
Yeah. The teams have moved away from this, but it is still a good comp that I think works very well to these teams' playstyles.
Yeah, and I guess as well, banding the madness that was the Yoru comp.
Mirror.
The Split, which was the iteration that Gen G played against last time in the regional finals.
I'm looking in this matchup at the head-to-head between the rookies, Monyet, and on the other side, out from Caron. Both those guys have come out in their debut international tournament and looked incredible. They're both on the run for one of the best rookie performances we've seen.
And probably been the two loudest on the stage as well.
Yeah, well, let's get this Pacific Showdown underway and send it over to your casters, who's been very familiar with the journeys of these two teams. It's Mixman and Tom Biz.
Thank you so much, Insu, and our fantastic analyst desk. Yes, we're pretty familiar with these teams, as I'm sure
they played EDG, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. But, you know, we heard it from the desk. The only thing harder than beating a team once is beating them twice. HyperX know that from EG over at Champs. Now it's an opportunity for them to give Gen G a lesson in that very same thing.
Well, that's the thing. I kind of want to touch on what Mike said earlier, where it's like a head over heart sort of situation. I also think it's mind over mental, because the way that HyperX play is insane. So you kind of have to almost center yourself. We've seen teams do that throughout the tournament so far. The other problem for these teams as well is, yes, they've played each other before, but as it was sort of said in the interview there, like the video we saw just before, they would both like it if Pacific were able to win. They have never managed to win an international event, and it's almost cruel that they get pipped against each other. The only good thing is they won't have to eliminate each other because one of them goes down and one of them goes forward. That's the only sort of saving grace for now, but it does mean that you're almost wanting to just, okay, both teams play their best so that whoever goes forward is going to be able to match up against America. So I think most people at the moment are favoring in this tournament.
Yeah, it definitely feels like fan sentiment. And even from what we've seen, Sentinels have just looked unchallenged throughout this tournament. Yeah. Other teams have had shakier starts, but we'll see. So what Loud did in their last game.
Gue mau deh G Pro X yang ini anjir yang warna pink. Cuman baru 1000 Hz ya, bukan 2000 ya.
For the whole series, Split, Lotus, and Ascent, the first three maps of the BO5 that they played regionally, that Gen G won dominantly. Now, the reality is, coming into Split, Tom, it's not exactly the same, because HyperX before, they were running Forsaken on a Yoru, himself and Something were diving in, taking so much space and winning almost all of their opening duels. I think it was 13-4, correct me if I'm wrong, where Gen G just got demolished on this map. So, for HyperX, I understand why they've come in and changed their comps. Like we say, the hardest thing is to beat them twice. So they're bringing a new comp and a new philosophy on how to handle Split. Question is, will Gen G be able to deal with it this time, now that there's nothing spooky going on?
Well, it also seemed like, at least for HyperX, once their comp was figured out, they were like, okay, let's change this one. We lost the EDG, we need to actually try and fix the things we've got going on. The thing is, though, the same can be said for their opponent, because we saw Gen G come in, switch into this composition, and just look incredible. Like, the double duelists especially, the only change they made was Omen in for Astra, just to allow them to be a bit more explosive, but I just remember that defensive half of Textra and Meteor. I think they both ended up with 22 kills, both were the best player in the server. It was like going toe-to-toe all the way through. So it is one of those matchups, as boring as it is, where we are just going to go, the duelists are the pinnacle. Like, these are the players we have to watch. The amount of times that HyperX would have just got absolutely banged if it wasn't Forsaken just having life games. But the thing is, it's every time he plays Split, he has someone else's life game. It's not a Forsaken life game. It is, okay, for anyone else, that would be the best game they've ever played. Unfortunately, he does that every week.
Well, we talked about this on the desk. I heard Mimi say, well, okay, if you think it's going to be 2-0, who is the team to 2-0 it here? And actually, looking at the veto, right, Split last time went to HyperX, Lotus was super close. I mean, if we go based on what we saw in the past, maybe the foundations are there for them to take that 2-0, but I'm expecting a 3-mapper between these two.
Let's go.
Pacific number 1 and Pacific number 2, and it's time to throw down as the barriers go up on Split.
Yeah, and it's looking like we're going to get a brawl to start things off. Both teams with the majority of their players set up outside this A site. They both run pistols in this direction before. Good nade coming out of Forsaken already, and something, and Mindfreak peeking off the back of it. They're going to be stuck in the corner early on. This is a great start for HyperX.
Munchkin's in danger as well.
Nice, Net.
Boombot was chasing him. Munyet caught him. And for Gen G, 2 versus 5, barely any damage done. At least they've still.
Heal dulu nggak sih, boy? Ada heal nggak? Oh, nggak ada. Dia nggak beli heal, cuk. Malah beli ghost anjir.
Assuming that it's a B hit, but you can see there's no real need for panic on the defensive side. They're just gonna hunker down and wait for Gen G to take a step forward and give them the first pistol round win.
Yeah, I think the scary prospect as well is that on this map in particular, we have seen some sort of rougher attack sides out of Gen G. Obviously, that is helped a little bit by having that Omen instead of the Astra. But other than that, it's an absolutely flawless start to this one. Now, as said, expectations for HyperX is this is the map that they'll win. If it's going to happen in this series, I think the next two I would favor to Gen G, even more so because of the fact that we saw recently on Lotus the changes to the comp for HyperX, and I'll be honest, I didn't like it. It didn't look good. So this is the map that I feel like HyperX have to win. The problem is, throughout this tournament, I've said that, and then they've won the other map. Because that's just how they are. They just managed to adapt. They have the individual players that sometimes they can just frag through a map. And that is rare. Like, it is very difficult to have people that are on that level.
At least from the games we've had, Tom, it has been an insane percentage of teams trading out their own map picks, losing your pick and winning your opponents. Gen G, they've not got off to a great start, and as the push comes in, okay, actually they're getting close.
Nice, Net. Aduh.
Blinded up, he's taken down. Okay, it's not a bad start at all for Gen G, gaining some ground, now winning some more.
Nice. Nice.
But that got very scary for a moment.
I would love to see Forsaken's POV in that, because what it looked like he did was jump down from the heavens with an outlaw in hand.
Oke juga nih Monyet nih. Selalu sekur.
But do you know who he is?
Yes, I do. He just lost his gun. It's now been given to something, and he's bought a judge to replace.
Jadi 125 ya. Ya dapat Munchkin kalau nggak Karon lah. Fotonya.
Well, it looks like we're going to be using that dash very early on for something. He's getting aggressive. Wall goes up. He's ahead of it.
Aduh. Malah meteor, cok.
With that outlaw, you're not going to kill the player. You need to get out.
That's the thing. They can just heal him back up, so that it's actually not that problematic for what was an early battle. You can already see heading over in that direction. Munya is going to get aggressive as well. Bear in mind, this purchase is fairly weak for HyperX. Normally, you'd see a rifle or two in the mix, but this is just SMGs. It can work. More so on split.
Udah Nyet, udah jangan dimajuin lagi, cok.
But that's the thing I've really enjoyed about Gen G. They've been methodical. They've been careful throughout this tournament. They are not one of those teams that are just aggressively running in and blitzing their way through rounds. They can. They have the skill to do it, but they're always, especially in these sort of rounds, very careful.
It looks like caution's paid off for them. Whatever noise they made on A has sold it to HyperX, who are now running the gamble on an A stack. Of course, there's an outlaw there that could be retrieved. I doubt it even will be. It's quite far up, and the player that will pick it is in heaven.
Okay.
Because that spike plant should be coming down in a little bit. HyperX, hear no noise, see nobody here. There's a flash still on the Vi that could be used to clear outside of it, but this late on in the game, you're just going to sit there, hope they dive into you. As we can see,
oh, heaven.
So for HyperX, it's hard to get back into a site with these weapons as well, especially a site like this where pretty much every fight on the way in is long range.
See, normally you talk about, okay, maybe going down to the spike or just trying to hold for exits, but I am waiting for Forsaken to attempt to try and blast back through something, and already Mindfreak taking a lot of control. Now, Texture in a fairly solo position. There's a chance. There's the blast backs already, and there's the judge.
Aduh. Alah, gue kira dapat 2 atau 3 gitu. Ente. Ente boy. Ente boy.
Gets up close. He's only getting the 1, and it's an immediate drop. The rest of the players easy to deal with when you've got that kind of weaponry advantage and you're not caught out of position. 2-1. It's a fairly bog standard start to the game. Pistol win for HyperX, follow up, and then they lose I mean, the one thing that we'll say is that maybe that third round could have seen a bit more damage out of that side. But again, they did gamble on a site. It didn't work out. This is what happens. The opportunity, though, to deal that damage here as we get the operator out on something right away. And the shot is not...
Aduh. Nice. Di trap.
Back off. The whole time they've been leaving Meteor outside of A to catch a rotation. He hasn't found one. But one can assume
Di
that
trapnya si Genji-nya ya.
right now if you're Gen G. They don't know that Mind Freak's still very much close.
Yeah, they also flash mid on the defensive side, so they have the information that there was no one there, so they're able to gamble an early rotation in towards this A site. Forsaken still with the judge is just going to make sure he keeps control in mid, but it's slightly more stacked up than you might expect. The only
Iseng kayak tek. Dapat.
Aduh.
Aduh.
There is the floor of the judge. Not going to find anything.
Saving lah.
I hope to God he's going to save.
It's not the round you want to see him throw his life away for. Is it a 1v3 with the op? Possible, winnable, but not to be. If you had a few more kills along the way, a few more orbs picked up, something like that, maybe risk it with the Blade Storm, but even then, the op is just so expensive. Doesn't want to throw it out. And for Gen G, I think they're sort of realizing that they heard the op earlier on, right? They know that it's in play right now. So they're gone spread out. Already sending Munchkin to try and find this player, and based on the time, it looks like he might be safe. They'd have to start hightailing it in that direction now. So an op for the next round, but just look at the credits on PaperX. It's not like they're going to be able to fully recover into a standard buy. I think the pendulum's kind of swinging in Gen G's favor now at 2-2. Economy's under their control, and ults will come online soon.
Yeah, and as I said, when we saw them play against EDG, they had a really stellar, aggressive, and confident defensive side. So I think for them, any sort of grinding out of these early rounds is going to be really important. Sure, you're still going to have an operator onto something, which alone can be enough to cause issues in the round. But
Jason kenapa keluar ya?
Their utility's been good. They instantly had a snake bite that went through to
Jason kenapa keluar ya?
aggression. It's expected at this point. By the looks of things, they may even just be going for an early A take. They are all set up outside.
I liked what I saw last round. I don't know if you caught it in the replay, Tom, but a fist bump into a high five. Let's see how many high fives there are for Gen G after this one. They've got a lot of space, but that flash was...
Aduh, megang flash. Nice. Aduh.
The elbow, another fight. And he's actually got a teammate in there. I don't know if they've seen Forsaken, but they certainly have now.
Aduh.
Smokes are down, but so too are the majority of PaperX players. It's only something left, but he has that off. The 1v2 he didn't go for. The 1v3, it's tempted him. It's pulled him in for the fight. He hasn't found them to start off, though, and that dash already halfway up. Wants to close the distance. So many tough angles, tight angles to clear with this op in hand. And no idea there's a player up top. He's checking the right angle. What a shot.
Aduh.
Ready for that play.
Kimbe.
Yeah, still a close round for what was invested. That was a decent stack up in the early stages for PaperX, just basically having the majority. And somehow managing to dodge some shots that I don't really know how they did, but bringing it down to just one player surviving, keeping that economy a little bit more honest for Gen G. And, well, you see the danger of how fast this man is with the operator. The problem, though, is he's not going to be able to have it for this round. They didn't have the extra finances and the quick trading, again, the fundamentals of...
Lalu laki, diem aja anjir.
As well, so he's still 2 away from a Blade Storm. So we're down to just that rifle. But as we said, ultis were coming online. We saw the Seekers used by Lakia, finding a lot of information. This time around, PaperX have theirs, but also a showstopper online. That's a big weapon to have in the back pocket of Forsaken, and could play a role later on in the round. For Gen G, you can see their spread. This is a full default play. At this point, they're expecting PaperX to make some adaptations and to throw out some of that signature early round aggression. Still hasn't happened, though. They're happy to bunker down and wait for that push to come through. Like I said, the other problem here, Gen G have a lot of credits built up. If PaperX lose this round, it's going to be a...
Aduh.
Maybe when. That's not
Yo.
start they were
Wait.
looking for 2 players down.
Aduh, Kimbe.
Down to just 5 HP. That's not really going to work too well for them. And the Seekers went towards mid, but also in towards the A site. The realization's there eventually. Mind Mindfreak can win this battle, it could be huge. I don't think they're going to expect him. It's such an obscure position to be in, but then it's almost revealed.
Aduh, Mindfreak nggak dapet, Cok.
Back 2 kills. The spike just about making it to the site, and it is going to bang
Aduh.
from the side of Munchkin, teaming up with Texture. It leaves this man who did get healed up early in the round. As said, he's been ever so devastating. Showstopper might just be able to cut
Aduh, nggak kena, Cok.
the Viper's pit, but actually Munchkin's just teamed up with his teammates, just left it. Doesn't even mind about the pit. I don't know if Forsaken realized it, but it doesn't even matter. Loses the fight to his counter raise. Continues on for Gen G.
Gen G are having a field day right now. Like I mentioned, the economy was in their favor. The ults that were there for PaperX burned up in that round to try and gain
Berempat bagus banget anjir dia.
an advantage. And Divide did incredibly well.
Bolong pula anjir.
He stayed down in screens, waited for the swing out for the player Munchkin up top, almost sacrificing himself because he's so out in the open. They swung to try and trade him, and Divide had that beautiful off angle to just rip them to shreds. We're seeing elements of that team play there from PaperX. We're seeing individuals
Membeli bundle HyperX. Membeli HyperX bundle.
I mean, it's double the rounds, but it's the economy that's really the problem for me. You've got players 7K, 5K, 5 and above is average for the Gen G side right now. PaperX, they're going to be on stingers, weaker weapons.
Crowdnya lebih banyak ini ya nggak sih? Kalau kemana sih berisik sih. Heretic.
I said it's looked like a different beast. I think they're a team that have done really well with the coaching staff. Someone as legendary as Solo. I don't think you're ever going to have the same mistakes twice. This guy has been around the block multiple times, and even just giving him a moment to talk here is going to be beneficial for them. Mindfreak off to a bit of a slow start as well, but also it is just reliant on those individuals a lot of the time. I think we saw some of the statistics posted earlier. Is like you compare the 5v4 conversion, Gen G something percent.
Dapat 2 doang, Coks. 4 dia bagus banget, Tero, anjay, di split.
Because you'd rather just be winning the rounds outright. But they need some of those heroes to come online because they've been okay, but it's not been enough to take rounds off Gen G.
Haven't seen the numbers of clutches from Gen G versus PaperX, but PaperX also do very well in those late rounds. Players like Forsaken previously bailed them from so many situations. Now, weaker weapons like we said, and close range surprise factor is probably the best way to
Aduh. Aduh.
3 kills already under his belt, 40 HP, and he's tucking in the corner. It looks like he's going to get this one.
Aduh, sini mah.
4th kill of the round, the confidence builder if ever I've seen one. And that's the last thing that PaperX wanted to give to their opponent. Again, not talking about them.
Pasti nyari S nih, kegatelan nih. Si Karun kegatelan nih, boy. Gak jadi S. Mukil semua ya. Karon. Enggak
I love the sort of switch up in tempo, especially in these anti-eco rounds. They're not allowing their opponents to really figure out anything that's going on. You had the instant TP to the back of site, information clearing things out. The rest of the team quickly execute, and Karan actually sticks around. He just keeps the spot, keeps the control. Doesn't allow anybody to get too far ahead, and he even takes himself 4 kills while he's at it, so why not?
This is definitely where on the side of PaperX you start to feel that mental pressure applied. Defense has been tested again and again. They failed the test again and again. 5 in a row for Gen G, and now ultis are there. Showstopper fire.
Aduh.
Had no chance. No smokes for the way back through. No paranoia to play with. Still some flashes on Divide, but PaperX set up with a man disadvantage on a retake seconds into the round.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to get back in here. As said, they're not bad in these 4v5s, but Gen G are even better in the 5v4s. Opener again. Karan takes down another.
Aduh.
But he's almost dead. It is
Aduh.
combined. Might be one of the fastest rounds we've ever had in the VCT. That was so quick from Gen G. You can just see the more the confidence build, the faster the
Pasti nih. Defender Gen G disiplin, Coks.
a couple of ults, but they're also able to stagger them. Like you're talking about Showstopper used this round, last round they used from the shadows to get the same sort of information.
Nggak mati lagi cepet. Cepet 11 anjir.
He got them the spaces around prior, and then Kara got 4 kills. That's why it's back online.
Well, this has to be a crushing one for PaperX off rip. Because again, they're left to weaker weapons in theory, but they've actually light shields and full shields on something because he doesn't need a weapon. He's got 5 knives locked and loaded. We'll see what he can do with those. But the reality is, yeah, the momentum is very much in Gen G's favor. The economy is right.
Itu bolong terus anjay.
Just take a look.
Itu bolong kan kiri.
It's looking pretty for a number of rounds to go. Maybe for the rest of this half. Still possible for a 6-6 scoreline, but it has to start here with a much better defense. Now, we talked about some aggression from this PaperX side, seeing it early on in rounds. So with a minute left on the clock.
Aduh, paranoia lagi dibalas. Aduh.
There's no competition, Tom. Barely a lick of damage done, and what is negated by the heal. This is a disaster. Something might be able to save them. He's made big plays before with the blade storm. There's one, but not 2.
Aduh. Santai nyet. Aduh. Cahaya nugraha.
The thing is, though, again, you just have to give
santai napanya.
This round, they were so ready. They had their whole team just waiting in mid, ready for that push to come through. And sure, the utility from PaperX was good on.
Visionnya menangan cahaya, anjir.
Players were so ready for that push to come.
Menangan cahaya.
Ends up being quite an easy fight.
Not even close, guys. Not even close. Yeah, like I said, you know, there was no chance of them losing that clean. I thought something would be the hero, but Munyet, they complimented his calling and his play in the video we saw earlier, and I can see why. He's fragging out like that, but again, close but no cigar. 7-2, Gen G finding
Astaga.
struggles. Close opportunity for PaperX to clutch it, and this could have looked very different, but instead, they're on an eco. They've already lost something. Stingers to play with. Sheriff on Forsaken. And Texture's got confidence for days. He sees an eco and he's diving down into vents after them.
The thing is, they've got so much control towards mid that they have to just be wrapping out from another position. But look how passive the players are. They know that there's going to be weaker weaponry, so they're just not giving them any of the close range fights. Powering up from above, there's not really an easy way to kill him. Maybe there is.
Aduh.
Somehow Munyet got past all the defenses. Even still, though, this post-spawn looks strong. Nade still available. They've been taking these sites so quickly that they've had no problems just having late utility. Wow, the time almost looks like it's gone. Trying to bait some space.
Wah, koncet.
8-2 on the board. And this is PaperX's map.
Ada yang pakai pisau ini ya, astronot tanpa tok.
They've achieved nothing.
It's hard to think about. Even the round that was close, Tom, it comes on the back of the player
siapa?
It's not what you want to see. Early on in a series, on a map that previously Gen G got absolutely obliterated on within their region. Now they come to the international stage and
they might do one better.
Yeah, 13 for us, well 13 to you.
Nice. Nice.
Well, Rockets on point. And with Lakia down, it looks like PaperX are set to finally put another round on the board.
Siwer, udah lihat siwer aja nyet. Oke. Nice. Nice.
It's an easy win. 8-3. PaperX finally back on the board, but hell of a distance yet to go.
Yeah, and again, it comes off some individual brilliance out of Forsaken. Definitely had support. I think he doesn't get that kill if it's not for Munyet being able to kill off the close player, but it's at least a breath of life.
Pakai baju fanatik anjir, fanatiknya nggak ada.
Even a sort of 8-4 scoreline wouldn't be a complete death sentence. I'm looking at 2 operators on the attack, though. Obviously, it's something that can be dropped, but they are waiting for aggression here, and it's coming. It's coming.
They ain't waiting in the right spot, though. Those ops are elsewhere, and that mid control is going to be complete.
Ya takut lah, takut nge-flash anjir.
Good to see him showing up, really swinging. I think He's currently 12 and 6-2 KD on the board and a chance to push it even further at 8-3. HyperX tried a mid push, got denied. Now it seems like they're caught. 1 foot in the grave. They don't know whether to continue on that aggression or reset for the later play, and Gen.G have not made a decision. With 1 minute 5 seconds on the clock, they don't need to rush. They're holding tight, waiting for PaperX to make the mistake.
They're so nervous of someone being within the smokes that are placed. Most of the time, those smokes are being put down by Munyet just to deter aggression, which is exactly what it's done. Texture, though, might have a fight. Because they're so passive, the operator could be so valuable here. There's no one on the backside once again, but the spike is looking to wrap around in the other direction. A peek out from
Oh iya
something.
bener anjir.
I think Meaty's
Cara
seen him,
ceknya.
it won't matter too much for now. It's going to activate the dash. Something goes peeking, but now I'm just looking at that timer. TP into the backside once more. It's been cleared out, so the spike will be able to go down. This almost has to be a complete retake.
Aduh.
Oh, nice shot
Aduh.
as well. There's his
Aduh.
spike drop. An opportunity indeed with that spike down. 15 seconds left. It's time for Gen.G to get a move on. Munchkin has to step out from that corner, and he's being caught. They need a dive on that spike and get it planted.
Nice, nice. Woo-hoo. Yoo-hoo. Skurto.
But certainly nothing to celebrate. This has been a strong performance from Gen.G. Lakia leading the charge, and plenty more left in the tank for this second half. You have to hope that PaperX have got something special planned on their attack, because this was a really
Satu line
scenario for them to have to fight back from.
Yeah, it is definitely a troublesome position to be here, but the fact is, there's definitely still opportunities. Even still, though, you said Lakia's performing. Let's hear from him now.
안녕하세요. 젠지 e스포츠 소속으로
Kim Jong-min, aka Lakia Professional Sport of Gen.G, success going to fly off, make it so happy, but saya happy, saya defending today. Good overcome, had a good performance going.
플레이오프에 진출이 원래는 첫 목적이었는데
Goals utama.
기쁜 것 같고 남은 경기도 이제 잘 준비해야 할 것 같습니다.
It leaves it down to just one player actually within the site. They have to go running in though. Caron might be able to just ruin their day, and that's exactly what he'll do.
원치킨 선수가 젠지에 들어오게 되면서 저희 게임 스타일이나 그런 수준이 되게 올라갔다고 생각을 하고, 그리고 이제 네, 개개인의 실력 또한 이제 원치킨 선수가 저에게 콜을 되게 많이 해주는 게, 피드백을 많이 해주는 게 있는 것 같다고 생각합니다. 자신감은 늘 넘치고 우리는 준비되어 있고요. 그리고 이제 진짜 더 잘하는 모습과 더 좋은 모습을 보여드리기 위해 잘 저희가 준비해야 될 것 같습니다. 이제 플레이오프까지 진출하게 됐고, 이제 또 경기들이
We have more games coming up in a few days.
그때까지 더 좋은 모습,
mga hada boy.
이제 잘하는 모습을 보여드릴 수 있도록 할 거고요. 진짜 항상 응원과 격려해 주시는 팬분들께 너무 감사하고, 팬분들을 위해 게임을 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Well, it was third time lucky for Gen.G last time facing off against PaperX. Now fourth time fantastic.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come back, yo.
8-4 when we left you.
Let's go.
And now it's time for Gen.G to close this map out. At least that's their mindset going in. PaperX, their attack side is about to be put to the test. And the big thing to write home about last time was something diving into sites. The thing is, he had a Yoru causing a lot of chaos for him. Now it's a little bit more conventional, but that's never the name of the game with PaperX. In he goes! Something's looking for a fight.
Nice, aduh. Nice. Nice, nice. Nice, nice. Chaos banget tuh di Heaven anjir. Aduh, 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 nye. Weh. Ron. Nge-whiff gitu, oi. Ron. Maneh teh ngapain?
The thing that it adds is, firstly, you're going to have that paranoia available for Munya to sort of set them up in, as we saw at the beginning of that round. But also, it just almost, we're going to continuously see the switch of who's going in first. So you're going to have Forsaken sometimes taking space for something. Maybe if he has that operator in hand, something in that round taking space for Forsaken. They are a deadly duo, whether the Yoru's there or not.
Aduh, Kimbe. Aduh, low banget itu anjir.
Forsaken's very low, a big help to any teammates that end up taking that fight. We may talk about the outlaw, but this man's making it work with the Marshall, the cheaper weapon. And okay, an opportunity if they had have spotted the player in the corner. Monyet, though, able to deliver the killing blow. Mind Freak fell to a snake bite
Oh. Nice.
One versus two. A serious opportunity. Yes, he's far away, but that might mean by the time he gets here, he could pick up a weapon.
It depends, though, because PaperX, that's the thing. The blitz plays of PaperX have been so fast that there's actually still loads of time. They don't need to over-aggress. They've just thrown out the guiding light, the flash, to get them a little bit of extra information. Still no weaponry found. Now, Karen does have himself a paranoia. He's brought up his full belt of utility.
Bunyi kek tali, bunyi kek. Kesleo kek tangannya. Aduh, bulldognya di situ, Cox. Dapat bulldog dong. Wah, winnable dong anjir. Aduh. Enggak. Nice. Untung kebaca sama Davai, Cok.
They won the round, Tom. 3 players down. This definitely isn't how they would have wanted to start it. When I add to that it's a Marshall headshot, okay, what can you do? And another Marshall headshot from a guy pushing a smoke close range, using it like a shotgun. That's not going to feel great. And the other player died to a snake bite. So, few kind of random engagements that ended up, well, rocking the boat a little bit for PaperX. We'll see how they recover.
When the thing is as well, the player you really don't want those alls to be going over to is Meteor. 3 away from the Bladestorm. Even just a bit of damage in this round, and he'll have something for the next. Now, this purchase from PaperX has players now fairly low on cash. You've got Forsaken and Mind Freak down at 150 credits. So for the next round, they might be in a little bit of trouble. Forsaken, though, he's just gone walkabouts. He's sprinting after Lakia, but he isn't going to be able to land the shot. And at least for now, it's only going to be the control that's lost for Gen G.
No heavy price tag associated with it. Down in vent, this is an uncouth hold. 2 players in their
Aduh. Kimbe.
Delivered to this man with the heel up for his teammate. Munchkin's going to be back up in fighting form, and in a 5v3, that's another nail in the coffin for PaperX. Tagged up.
Aduh, Man Freak.
Adjustment from Munchkin, clinical. As now there's only 2 attackers standing. Their chances are looking pretty slim.
Yeah, he almost killed Davai through the screen as well, so he's going to be half HP. Entering the fight, they don't even know the Munchkin's there. A perfect reposition. This might be a flawless return to form as Davai's the only man left standing. A 1v5 scenario. Talk about can he do any semblance of damage. As said, they invested some extra credits into this round, so the next round's not exactly going to be pretty. Normally talk about saving, but I think actually holding onto a gun here would have more value, and he's just been seen and knowing exactly where he is now. I imagine there's going to be pressure placed onto this man. Blast packs could be thrown in, but it's just going to be the entirety of the squad looking to just jump down upon him within those last few seconds, and well, it's not even needed. First one gets the job done, and Gen G will extend their lead.
5 players alive, you know, it's a little scary because it feels like since the very beginning of some of these halves, Gen G haven't had a problem when it comes to economy. And I think for this 6-9 scoreline, PaperX attack side, they get a decent buy out of it. You know, it might even seem weird if you look at the timeline.
Flawless.
Players alive coming out of both of those rounds. It meant
Ayo Ron, ayo masa satu.
Anjir. Most players.
Ya.
Well, I mean, it kind of has worked because Munchkin fell into it, but
Ron, lu kenapa, Ron? Aduh, Kimbe. Aduh, Ron, kok lu jadi ini anjir, diskon Shopee anjir 111. Mau wifu lah tadi di Headphone. Aduh, posisinya jelek banget nih.
player behind the back of the site. Should have probably seen him. Now it gets a little bit more interesting. Space given to Tex.
Nice. Nah, gitu dong, Ron.
He's been quiet so far.
Nah, gitu dong, Ron. Gelo lu.
This is definitely the time to wake up. You know, we gave the same caveat coming into the last half, and then Genji ran away with it. But here, a challenge early on, and more importantly, a challenge with so many weaknesses on the board. I mean, this was a round where you have a couple of rifles, and what ends up winning it is a Stinger diving on the site, 2 kills out of a Sheriff to close the round out. Doesn't get much better than that. It was even a classic jumping around the corner to find one of those opening duels in elbow.
It's also now, you've talked about, it's 8 rounds in a row that were lost. An 8-2 scoreline. The difference is now just 2. That's how close PaperX have managed to bring this. Going on to their favored side, the B site under serious pressure. Half the team still waiting patiently. Karan's reposition.
Bro, nggak ada ngecek itu. Aduh, itu. Aduh. Temot lagi. Lex. Aduh, nggak temot lagi anjing. Temot kan?
And clearly one that wasn't expected on the other side. And again, we fall back into economy discussion around this squad. They've been sitting pretty. They've been looking fantastic. They were able to obviously rebuy in this round because of the damage done early on. And well, they only really needed one of those rifles by the looks of things. A timeout called by PaperX as they can now feel that it's getting very late into this game. We're at a stage where if Genji picks up one more, they'll be knocking on victory's door. So, yeah, 17 and 14. He's had a great game, but I think that double kill, that tripled his kills.
Mindfreak.
I said Munchkin, sorry, I meant Mindfreak.
Yeah.
Munchkin's been doing well.
Yeah, Munchkin's going for his triple kills, that'd be impressive. But yeah, no, Mindfreak's definitely had a quiet performance. I also think something, though, like we talked about the duelist in this matchup, other than, I'd say even Forsaken, they've actually all been a little bit underwhelming. It's been other players stepping up in this matchup, and I think that's really what we're seeing at the moment is the depth of both teams individually, but more so just that interplay. I think we're seeing much better fundamentals out of Genji, and it's mostly been those explosive plays from PaperX, like going off the back of a paranoia, everybody diving in together, and you see if it's even a slight bit disjointed like that round, Karan just pulls out a crazy play and is able to win the round for them. 10-7, as you said, everything on the brink here. Seekers available. On the other side, a Bladestorm as well for Meteor, but I don't know if he'll use that in this round unless he sees the value. An immediate setup for the paranoia, but this is a ruse. The spike is over on towards B.
Costly ruse, perhaps. Forsaken. The decay is going to fade, but he's still half HP.
Aduh.
Too easy to deal with him. One well-placed shot, and he's down and out. Now we need to see the return for
Aduh. Bagus banget Genji anjir.
Seekers still in play, and a few flashes here and there. One, in fact, just on Dubai. Not a lot for them to fight their way back through with utility, but it's this man's position that might get them something. He's found another with the weaker weapons. This man's an animal.
Aduh, nyet.
And for PaperX,
Cahaya. Aduh. Ayo main flick. Ayo main flick, Let's go main flick. Bisa. You can do it, main flick. Nunggu temennya anjir. Hati-hati.
I really love it. It was brought up by Lakia in the halftime interview that he believes that like playing with someone like Munchkin has brought a lot of depth to his own playstyle, and you can just see the intelligence even in this round. He literally just pulled Mindfreak towards him. He had no plans to fight him at any stage. Wants to just play the higher percentage play, and that's why Genji have been able to convert a lot of these advantages. And for PaperX, a lot of the time I don't mind these gambles, but I feel like Forsaken has been one of the sort of glimmers of hope. So you were almost going, he has to get some.
Marahin Lex.
It's just now a push without him going into the site, and it didn't work with him.
You know, the thing is for PaperX right now, at an eye test, you might think it's not doom and gloom. 11-7, 4-round gap, it's not that bad. There's a chance for them to fight back, albeit here with weaker weapons, but they've looked good there. The problem is, they've won 4 of those 7 rounds off the pistol and follow-up. Like, the injection
Meteor tiba-tiba dapat main flick anjir.
a much closer game than it is, but Genji have been dominating in rifle rounds. Now they've got 4 ultimates to fall back on up against
Nice.
but no Lakia. kill for the side of PaperX as Heaven could now be theirs. Gen.G might start to panic.
Nice, something.
Munchkin inside the smoke isolated. That might just be the mistake they were looking for. Oh, this could be big.
Aduh. Nyet. Aduh. Kan itu belum kelar ya, belum clear ya yang di situnya ya. Nyet.
Against 4 ultimates, only the Blade Storm that's gone. Like, keep in mind, Gen.G have a full buy with Seekers, with a Viper's Pit, with a Showstopper from the shadows. And so that's a lot for this defensive side to close out this game. If you remove those ultimates, it looks like they'll close out the game because they're winning almost all of the buy rounds thus far. The closer rounds for PaperX have been individuals, and they need to show up individually and together. 5 in a row needed, and the challenge already underway.
Nice.
Yeah, he put down
Nice one.
utility to try and slow this push a little bit, but the fact is he underestimated the pacing. Lackier in the corner, but they expect it.
Nice one.
Usage in this round. It leaves now Karen. He's had some magical plays, but they know exactly.
Wait.
Well, it seems so. Munya goes bouncing past him. Now there is a flank, and no one really watching it. Although it seems like Texture was doubting.
Aduh.
Saw a 1v1 taken, but it won't matter in the end. A 1 versus 5. Some serious mistakes.
Nice.
It's going to put him down immediately.
Yuk, comeback yuk. 4 round yuk, berturut-turut yuk.
The start of the way back.
Overtime.
They've actually managed to deal with the vast majority of the ultimates as well there, Tom. Gen.G are left now with just a Viper's Pit. We listed all of them last round. They got used. They found nothing. So not only winning a buy round, but winning a stacked buy round in terms of ult economy. And they've still got some left to play with themselves. The Blade Storm can help out. The Pit can win rounds. And with 4 needed, Gen.G are finally seeing some negative economic state. They're no, that peak from Ducky was not expected. Good flash too, and it's a double. He's got his teammate Meteor with him, and they're absolutely extinguishing the flame of PaperX's early fight. This squad's gonna have to go back and reconsider.
Early banget anjir itu, pasti langsung di swing anjir.
One of the major problems. Viper's Pit, although they might just about win 2 duels. A little bit dangerous, spamming. And because of that, being able to get rid of Meteor is a big pick, because that was looking like map control and a man advantage for Gen.G. Instead, much more of a problem. And also bear in mind, Lackey is the only one who can't be healed.
That cam there is very important. Just seeing something clear the spawn, you see how much space they lost, because this Viper's Pit isn't just stopping a push, it's stopping all of PaperX's plans. Their plan was to blitz A, they get slowed, they get stopped, and now they have to go back and re-clear everything. Even if there's not a player flanking, if they're just pushed up in B main, holding that aggro intel, you're going to find it very hard to actually dive in. Now this TP is to B side.
Aduh, TP-nya situ lagi anjir. Aduh.
Gen.G have the advantage. They're going to challenge Munchkin inside the pit.
GGWP.
Welcome to his world with Munyet, the last man standing, and a free kill presented. He's got 3 more to go.
Seconds.
He's found the 4Ks in the past, Tom, but this would be exceptional. Good luck to you and good night.
Is the running through of that Viper's Pit with the
ganti judulnya HyperX Win.
Did not happen. A stellar map, losing both pistols and only losing 8.
HyperX Win.
What a performance for the side of Gen.G.
It's even more impressive considering Munyet on PaperX, a player that we've highlighted again and again, that was a big talking point, not just from the desk, but even from the team themselves when they were being interviewed. And he comes out fragging. The calls were good.
Kalah gua.
Fake plays, but at the end of the
poin gua, cok.
He doesn't sell it. This was convincing. And now they move on to their pick of Lotus after this.
Oke. Poin gua, cok. Poin gua. Poin gua, please. Aduh. Ya Tuhan ya Lord. Deathmatch nggak sih? Deathmatch dulu nggak sih? Deathmatch dulu, bye. Deathmatch dulu, boy. Ya Tuhan ya Lord. Ah, chào ni ma, chào ni ma, ta ta, chào ni ma, chào ni ma, chào ni ma.
Match found. Deathmatch. Warm up.
Aduh. Ah, Kimbe.
Attack when they're suppressed. I cut their options, they make mistakes.
Fight!
Don't worry, I'll keep them quiet.
Alamak.
Target 86.
Alah.
Astra's dead.
Astaga. Ah. Weh. Gua mati sama ISO mulu.
Tango down. Astra's dead. Cancelled.
10 kills remaining.
Ah. Ah. Woi, Kimbe. Ih, sakit kali anjay.
Remaining.
Kill confirmed.
ISO-nya GG sih.
Obstacle removed.
One kill remaining.
GG. Udah main kah? Woi, udah main.
Looking at this comp, what is this, Mike? The fourth new comp they've
Udah main.
Yeah, we've gone back again. We've got the Cypher back in and Monya back on the Raze. So I guess maybe then indicates we did see that on Split. He's going to be the front man here on Lotus.
This does fix the issue of having these flanks open. Yes. It fixes that issue. But I think there's another issue in this comp. You're lacking stall util, and on the attacking side, you're unbeatable because you only have one piece of smoke util. I think that for
HyperX
to make up for not having this Viper.
And the big concern last time actually is that eyes go
gua ketarik 16.000. Oke. Kosong
not on, you know.
HyperX
A little bit.
2090.
Outlier ni Sedman.
Hati gua udah langsung ke all in HyperX dah.
It's looking like elimination might be on the line.
Let's go.
I don't mind the change back, because obviously this isn't the comp they played last time, but it is the comp they ran versus Heretics. I think it's slightly better for them overall. Still had something on the Jet as well, because they had a similar comp to this, but with him on the Reyna. I think this just allows him to do more damage. I like the start though from Gen G. Oh, okay. They had that 3-man push initially, didn't expect anybody to still be around the angle, and because of that, they've lost the first battle.
One man down already, but the rest are rotating into the right spot. The read is good from the side of Gen G as they move to the A site. Here comes PaperX diving.
Nice.
Quicker than expected.
Udah, jangan mikirin senjata, nyet.
Players to be on that defensive side already. Anchored down, and they're winning the fights, leaving Ducky all alone. The 1v2, good damage done, and the follow-up, and he's out of ammo. Wins. He brought a knife to a knife fight. 3 kills already. This guy's been sensational.
Got respected from Karen. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna be the coward. I'm not gonna go and reload.
Respected him.
I'll take you in the 1v1. Well, I'll win it out. And well, PaperX, that was again. We talk about the advantages and their conversions. What was that? 5v3 as they get into the site. They get the initial opener and they get an entry, and then they don't convert the round. It's good work from Gen G, but you always have to look at PaperX and go, these are moments that you expect them to be able to convert, not the start they were looking for. And again, we're going to see the same proactive approach from the defense, constantly looking to garner extra control. And PaperX, they're going straight into the site.
Oh yeah, look, they're willing to dive. We can tell that as soon as
Net.
well, he very early died to the turret. Not a good start, but Spike should at least be plantable. No nade left online for Gen G. Nothing to really force these players out of the corner.
Spike planted.
With that sees, it's keeping him in position. It's only deducted about 10 HP or so because he was so low. So the problem now is you have to fight back through all these close range angles where PaperX have the numbers to play with on a lot of the fights they're going to take. Decent damage.
Nice.
Good follow up.
Sakit banget anjing.
Yeah, could have been much worse. Interestingly, yeah, something buys shields into that round. So maybe hoping that they could get a kill and he could steal a gun away, but doesn't come to fruition. Textures was one off a showstopper going into round number 3, so especially on this map, it definitely is a little bit more difficult to challenge for those orbs, but it might mean that we see a bit more of an aid push, an opportunity.
Alah, Kimbe.
Well, this is where we are going to get the investment. Mitch, you'll be happy. Forsaken is already bringing in an Odin.
Listen, he's a wise man. I've always said that, Tom, and he's just proven my point, isn't he? You won't expect this off rip if you're Gen G, and a little bit of danger for Texture. That crosshair's lined up on his head, and it's done some damage, some serious damage by the looks of it. Down to 77. Texture's tagged. Lucky is dropped. And we can continue on with the spams. Heals for most players. Dubai the only one to stay quite low, not having anyone to bring him back to full fighting health. The reality is, though, they're in a pretty good position. The close range spot by Karen shouldn't be left unchecked. There's still a flash on Dubai. You expect that to pop as they move forward. No, in fact, it's just a double swing.
Aduh.
Exactly. Clean trades for PaperX.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be fight after fight.
Jangan sampai keculik, please.
Nice. I think a little bit too predictable on when he'd make his move. Munchkin on the other side of the map, and the thing is, he could just hold this through to the next round, but I don't expect him to. When there's an opportunity to have an upgrade, maybe take a gun away.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, I mean, not a position you're going to be clearing a lot of the time. Done well to start. Player close is low. Dubai and Mind Freak both playing without shields and with a bit of dent to their health.
Tolonglah.
Stopping anytime soon. He's already picked up 3, and now he's quickening his pace to the site. The time is so desperately low, and he doesn't know where Dubai is. The element of surprise gets PaperX the kill and the round.
Mati dong.
But at what cost?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Every single gun just goes for
Mati dong.
hunting a player that was going to have a gun in the
Kenapa
next
dia?
anyway. Like, I understand wanting to earn those extra orbs up, but this is one hell of an overextension. Just constantly fighting versus a player that had a bulldog. Munchkin, wow, you can already see him.
Desnya minus tuh. Cepet, low.
Round 4, and there's going to be a real challenge for this attacking side. Weakness is already seen. Chance for Gen G to shut down the way back through for PaperX very early on. We know this is a map that both teams can pull to tight contention, but with Gen G having done that extra work on it, picked it into this series, I'm worried for PaperX. It's early times just now, but with showstoppers online for both squads, we knew this was coming. Munyet's on the way, head caught on the arch on the way through. It slowed him down enough and actually bought some time for Meteor to escape. And for Munchkin to round the corner, no one's going to go down to that showstopper, but it's claimed a lot of space.
Yeah. Oh, they don't realize how close Karen is. He had to move because of the tiger. Monya's going to try and...
Udah nyat.
Multiple players on the other side. Showstopper, he should be dead.
Aduh.
Almost manages to catch one, even still though for Gen G.
Aduh, timing Kimi.
Timing couldn't be worse for something either. It's going from bad to worse for PaperX. They need to find a miracle through these spams. At least been able to get one, but they don't know if the player's still on the spike. The second tap will definitely help them out, but it's not.
Aduh.
Too many bullets to dodge there. And Gen G, they break back immediately. And while we mentioned them losing all their players, it's going to hurt now.
Yes, it absolutely is. Now you see the butterfly effect of that.
Kenapa firasat gua kalah ya di map ini lagi ya?
We said there were 2 online, only one found its mark. And then the chaos afterwards. Every time you see someone on PaperX turn their crosshair to look towards an angle where they've just seen someone swing or they've just lost a teammate, they get shot in the back because that's the exact time.
Kalau lagi ini,
the retake on all sides.
Oh.
Gorgeous stuff. 3-1. Odin being kept through. Lakia going way up in my estimations, let me tell you, buddy. And the spams, well, they're not having too much success, but they don't need to. In this round, PaperX have basically nothing to play with. 4 sheriffs.
Well, also they've already taken the control. That's the main reason. You've got Karen aggressively up. It's allowed for a gamble rotation, so he's just moving that Odin elsewhere. Not the most common door to spam because you are open to a couple of angles, but it won't matter. And this is the thing. We've seen this
ada smoker dong.
scenario many a time. Find a kill, TP back.
Susah dong.
Excellent at knowing when to reposition as well, so they can leave those. Oh, this is ambitious.
Where is he going? Where is he going? He's made it just about around that corner, but well, that was risky. If they came through that wall, Tom, I'm not sure that would have went the way he was thinking. Spray good for Munchkin. It's a narrow alleyway to fight in, and wow, that's a lot of damage. No chance for PaperX here. Of course, we did mention they have those weaker weapons. They don't have a lot to play with, and they'll get nothing done.
Temot.
I hate to harp on the economy, but Gen G off to a flying
Habis ini
start
kalah temot sih.
It's feeling reminiscent of last map, but it is still very early days. Plenty of time for PaperX to find their footing. They don't want to waste time throwing rounds away. They've called a timeout.
That's the funny thing. We might actually get to the point where we can just highlight when Gen G don't have money.
Yep.
We'll just save time.
Yep. It's the play.
Gua mendingan gak usah.
Throughout the series. I like the pause though coming out from PaperX because this has been rough. And even looking back versus KC, they struggled when it came to this attack inside. A lot of that was a bit of a peculiar composition, but I don't know if this one's looking any better for them right now. Also, it has a lot of reliance, again, on this double duelist. And there was a moment or two at the beginning where I was like, okay, something looks like he's here to play. But ever since then, they're just getting boomed. And everyone on the other side for Gen G has looked utterly fantastic. In this round, at least, one off a Blade Storm. Showstopper, the only ult that isn't going to be playing a part in this round for either side. And Munchkin already having that Viper's Pit online. And clearly, this is a time where Alex needs to earn his money. Otherwise, I think PaperX are taking that fast track straight to the lower bracket.
I want to at least get that third map out. You know, officials are a different ball game to talking about regional play, especially against a team you've already played on that map. You're testing so many deeper things, and I think for them, bombing out like this in the uppers, it wouldn't speak well for what's to be seen, because Loud Sentinels, they're not going to be any easier.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't want to face up against either of those teams right now. Here we go, though. Again, early paranoia. I think this one is not really going to be played upon. I like the idea, again, using that haunt get them space, but something, I think he's just going to disrespect the utility. Had enough of these pushes coming through. He is going to get pinged up. They know where he is. And Tengkyuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuu
especially when the door gets opened, and now he's dead.
Aduh.
That's what it's all
Nice.
about on Gen.
Nice, Pai.
In the spaces and being able to fight afterwards. But with the return from PaperX, they've got a real chance. The headshot angle held by Mindfreak, but Meteor's just ducked underneath it, playing the limit. He's
Aduh,
winning this
Mindfreak.
game. With Mindfreak down, it's 45 HP, and a dream turned to a nightmare. PaperX losing out on another. They had
Woy, poin gua, woy. Tolonglah menangin, woy.
every gap that Gen G were trying to stuff their way into. They always had someone to take that second fight. PaperX had someone to take the third. This time,
Woy, poin gua lah, woy. 18k. Ditarik, woy. Tolonglah menangin, woy.
This is one of those things as well where Meteor's in a 2v2 scenario. The amount of times I feel like I've watched him just get both kills and his teammate's still rotating. Like he's just so confident at this stage in his individual ability, and even just ducking under where he assumed his opponent would be holding. That was again another big round for PaperX. A lot invested, even having some decent early trades, but it isn't to be. And now, well, Bladestorm is really all we could talk about, and they're still ready for his initial play. Almost goes down, but has managed to dodge that singular bullet fired by Texture.
Aduh.
Sending them elsewhere. Forsaken was trying to claim some space by sneaking through. We saw good success for that. I think when Yet on the previous map was throwing out a few of those little feelers. But the idea now is you can't play up against that op. This ain't the round for it. Your Bladestorm's already gone, and everyone else has pistols. Close range, numbers advantage is the way to go, and they've done it. At least trading out the first. Karan, though, he has been consistent every single time they've challenged him. This guy's coming up with multiple. 7-2 right now. Teammate ready to swing, and luckily because Karan was dropped.
Hendrik nggak dapat, anjir. Nggak dapat Sakia.
But his knife was pulled out. Tried to evade some spams or some, well, players emerging from the smoke. Unfortunately, he jumped right into their crosshair. 6-1 for Gen G, and 4 ultimates online coming into round number 8.
It's one of those scenarios where, again, PaperX have made some of these rounds look somewhat competitive.
Cok.
Consistently able to clutch out the late round.
Aduh, tolonglah poin gua ini loh. Gua all in loh. 18k poin, bo.
For the side of PaperX.
Tolonglah.
Operator going to be invested into something. Here's at a very quiet
Ad.
this game, and a reaction shot from Texture already puts down Monyet.
Yep.
You see the idea as well? We
see
space elsewhere. Denied on A because Gen G are getting aggressive, giving PaperX a taste of their own defensive medicine. This is a really good start with 4 ultimates to fall back on, 3 of which will help you out if you're in a pinch. For PaperX, where do they go? Where do they take it? Maybe they can get a neural.
Laki yang ngebras udah dapat nih.
A wall bang kill with the Odin from Lakia. That's something dropped. That's the op down, and he's looking for a little bit more. I don't know where they're going to take this on the attack, but I think I know what the result will be regardless.
Forsaken's been quiet as well.
Aduh.
Reposition.
Nice.
One shot at least. Will make things a little bit more interesting. The reveal as well will tell exactly where their opponents are. Knowing there's only one player here, the turret.
Woi, waterfallnya
keeping things disruptive. A Meteor again.
Jaga. Aduh, tolonglah, Bang. Bang, menangin map ini ya, Bang. Biar poin gua balik, Bang.
I don't know. Yeah, second
Poin gua all in loh.
At this point, I feel like they're running out of ideas. I also just did tidbit as well. Last 3 times, Gen G have won. Yeah, played and won this map. 8 rounds on attack, 9 rounds on attack, 9 rounds on attack. They're 7-1 up on defense.
Tadi aja nggak usah ini ya, gua ngedesain thumbnail. Krusial anjir gua ngedesain.
And the reality is for PaperX, you're looking at the last time they played this map against this squad again. You know, I was looking back at that series, which worked perfectly for me today because it's the same maps. But the funniest thing is something. He was on the Reyna and he was popping. He was doing well. Justified a Reyna pick? Maybe not, but we know on a good day he absolutely can. This time, I don't care what agent he's playing, he's having a damn tough time. 2 and 8. Compare that to Split last time, finding so many opening entries on that attack side. Now listen, I'm going to be the last person to complain about Jet dying on the attack, right? All that's your job. But here we haven't seen those dive plays as consistently. At least that hasn't been the crux of their attacking.
Wah, ngap-ngapan no.
How many rounds have we seen?
Nafasnya Alex no.
10 to 15 seconds in, it's 3v5. No control, no benefit for it. One guy goes down, they push somewhere else, that guy goes down, then they sit there.
Ngomong apa banjir?
Think about the spots that Gen G are also willing to claim. Like they pushed out 2 players in all the way past.
Ya tema habis nih.
What's the point?
And they pushed A with 2 players in the same round.
Yeah.
Right. So like this is the thing. You even peek your head out and you go, "Oh, are they rumbled? Yep, they are. I'm dead."
Yep, they're everywhere.
Now we have no advantage. We're playing
They're
from
going to push
behind.
B. It looks like they are. Insta smoke. B control being taken by 3 players. Just waiting to see if the push will come through in that direction. It's going to allow them the fast take back of this control. Paranoia immediately put through. The trade's not all in the beginning, but they quickly divulge into nothing for the side of PaperX.
Nice, son.
Finally, he comes alive.
Well, this is the round that he needed to wake up in. That spike is theirs, and they can walk it straight to the C site once that door is closed. 16 HP, Mind Freak on 42, but Texture's got an ult and an aid, and there's a snake bite left. This could be very, very dangerous indeed. For now, though, Texture's not deploying the nade, instead sitting down, op in hand. 16 HP turned to 0. Nice shot.
Mind Freak, please. I hope, please. Senjata lu kelihatan nggak sih itu? Ah kan? Udah kelihatan anjir senjatanya.
He's got an op as a negative, and then it's like, no, never mind.
Wide swings it. Like, all right, we're quick scoping now, but that's the level we've hit for Genji. 8-1, Tom. Yeah, I almost wanted to say coming into this map.
Ya Tuhan ya Lord. Ulti masih 5-5-nya. No.
Again, considering this is the number 1 and number 2 from the same region, that we've already seen them play a best of 5 series. There was a 3-1, and a lot of the maps were close.
Weh, gua all in loh. Gua all in loh di map ini loh. Tolonglah. Tolonglah. Hey.
Not the same we've seen before. All 5 ultimates, by the way. Genji don't need them. That's actually the point we're in. They don't need them.
Masalahnya disiplin anjing ini orang.
Let's just throw one out just to see. There you go. There it is. Okay. Cycle the economy a little bit. Here comes the big rocket, and it's not landed. It's not found the value it needed to. The lockdown has been destroyed, and Meteor was tagged down quite a bit.
Nggak dapet lagi chain stoppernya.
They got rid of the lockdown, so they can at least claim some space. He's screwed. There's no way he survives that.
Aduh. Aduh, udahlah, tolong. Nice. Cukup, Bang. Cukup, Bang. Saving OP ini mah ya. Bang, udahlah cukup, Bang. Please, Bang. Udahlah, Bang. Wow, nice.
And the double peak wins the day, 8-2. Deja vu for PaperX.
Bang. Dak-dik-dukser gue, hey. Ya Tuhan.
That's the weird thing about it. And again, a lot of this just came down to some brilliant individual play from something, finally putting a couple of kills on the board. The fact is they did peak Munchkin individually. First player peaks, dies, second gets dinked, and it's only finally they reposition. I think we would have needed a new desk completely for Alex if they managed to lose that round, but it's scary that it even got close.
I think just get rid of the desk, man. Punching bag with an LED screen in it.
Whose face is on it?
It depends on the game. Make it interchangeable.
Nice, Jason. Nice, Jason.
Look how open the A side is, and they've made that realization. There's no further challenge. There's no utility. There's no reaction.
Alison.
So Forsaken realizes it's one.
Aduh.
Was near perfect. You have to. Well, I mean, you can call it a mistake. At the end of the day, he was open to like 6 angles, so he has to just be clearing those, constantly being paranoid about them. The site though is lost, and PaperX will find the plant nonetheless.
Showstopper online.
Udah lah, udah.
Might have actually caught Munchkin. So he's gonna actually reposition through B instead.
Aduh, jelek banget.
Open. I think it's because Divide's having to check too many angles. The Seekers at least will give it away. Showstopper has been thrown in. He might get caught by all of the Seekers, but his teammates got his back, and that means
Aduh.
the remaining players
Kimbe.
has not been cleared yet, and because of that, he's going to be able to deny the defusal. The spam doing so much damage, and now it's all on to Divide with an operator.
Davai miss anjing. Nice. Nice banget.
But everybody will go down with the ship. Well, it's the same thing as what we saw before, Tom, right? They're getting this little resurgence towards the end of the half. This time, PaperX didn't have the pistol to help them out. They went both on the previous map, putting them up 4 rounds, and they ended on 8. But here, they're doing it on the rifle rounds. They're doing it in the clutches as well. As close as they may come, it's still giving them that little bit of a heartbeat.
Udah lah, Van, ayo cepat. Ayo, wake up. Comeback.
Or potentially a very strong tool for retakes.
Man, it's scary when it's a Red Bull clutch that gets you your 3rd round, but as long as they're getting the rounds, I don't think they're going to mind too much. This battle is now changed. It was previously Caramel.
Tung! Hilang kan Jason?
Has been fierce.
Looks like they're going to go back into it.
Hilang satu lagi.
It's just a dry wide peek by Monyet. Players up top looking to trade, but Texture's out of the angle too quickly. HyperX have given him another shot. And it looks like another bite of this apple. As around comes another, but finally the miss is there. Texture gets the reset though with low HP. He's dancing around, but he's being caught.
Aduh, main flick. Nice main flick. Tolong. Nice.
For an 8-4 half. It looks like PaperX have finally woken up. They've found some punch to be packed. Let's see. Meteor's on his way in. Up close with a teammate further away. Munchkin's making a lot of noise. They're trying to find an angle to deal with.
Aduh, Kimbe.
Well played. Now they can group up and try to force this 2v2 with the Viper's Pit. That was a little scary. Thought Munchkin was about to be spammed, but now they've got a lot of space as they close in the distance. No snake bites to play with, though. That could help out, keep them way out of this pit, and with Munchkin falling...
Nice! Please, come back, please. Please, jangan nakal, please. Tolong. Aduh, kelihatan banget itu si Jason anjing. Kepalanya itu topinya anjing.
That's how good Texture has been. But again, it's those player deficits that are actually what turn the tide.
Ayo Lex. Kasih tahu Lex. Aduh. Pengen kencing lagi gua.
It's like a stressful game. I feel like, for me personally, I feel like we are playing against ourselves because the way they play is kind of like similar, you know. I mean, trying to outsmart them. I mean, they were very good. I would say they are smart and they're kind of like one step ahead, especially on Lotus. We kind of like way behind them. Yeah, I think we were taking too easy, I think. I mean, they did exactly what we were watching them, like in the VODs, like they play the same, like they are not scared, even though this, like, I think for some of them it's like their first time in Masters. And yeah, I mean, very surprised with how they actually perform.
Monye gonna be put to test, put to task. Oh, that's rough. Blinded, and Monye just popping off. Yeah, Farmer even spotting the right there. Over towards Shybox. This guy's on for it. He's absolutely on the money today.
Genji get. I mean, the good thing is probably we might be able to get some revenge. You know, I mean, we lost to them in the Pacific kickoff, and yeah, I mean, I think Texture is giving us a lot of problem, like just killing us or like punishing us over and over. And also Karan was playing insane as well, even though he's a newcomer, but I think he's probably like the top player in the league. I think he got MVP as well in the Pacific kickoff, and yeah, I mean, insane. Yeah, maybe we go back and cook some strats, you know, to cook these two.
Devi has certainly been cooking 15-9, exiting that first half with the next closest player being something. Pretty good player, pretty well respected. He's got 6 kills, almost a third of what his teammates rocking. It's been tough for the side of PaperX. They haven't found a lot of success, but that little 3-round streak to close out the first half, Tom, it's given them a chance here. We want to see them take the pistol.
Yeah, we want
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
match that it definitely
Let's fucking go.
Genji,
I wish win.
like a competitor for the crown, and
Yeah.
we haven't seen the PaperX that we know and love.
Yeah, guys.
This pistol round.
Nice,
Be a
yep.
deciding factor, but a great start from Monyet. Already pushing aggressively on the other side is something waiting for someone to try and make their move, and he's going to go back for a little bit more. Has to use the dash to get out of there, and is now waiting for the cavalry to arrive as the rest of the team.
Aduh.
Forsaken with a good trade.
Ada smoker dong.
Keeping the numbers in their favor, something needs to do a little bit more.
Dar, nice.
A shot right to
Nice, Ilya.
That's going to put us in a 4v2 with PaperX. Definitely favored to take this pistol now. Forsaken fallen. A little bit more of a chance.
Nice, Ilya.
Delivers. Okay, he's up top and not
Nice, Ilya.
easy. That's a 3K for something. Looks like even he's starting to heat up.
Nice.
Having confidence, because you look at some of the fights he's taken, and there's definitely risks about it, but that's always been his play style. Even on a Gecko, he's basically an op main, so then get the finances built up early, get the orbs rolling on the duelist, which is exactly what's happened thus far. Get that sniper into his hands. This game can definitely slip back. As said though, for the majority of the
Udah.
be it
Udah, Ron, ayo.
mostly in Pacific,
Udah.
much more consistent on their attack.
Wake up, Ron. Lu BU kan, Ron. Ayo. Teori BU, Ron. Nice, same thing. Nice. Aduh. Lo ya. Lo. Dua lo.
Margin for errors already being reached here. Any further kills will be costly, will force some level of reinvestment from the side of PaperX. But on the defense, they can keep distance. And with the buy that Genji have, they're definitely not favored on ranged fights.
Defiant will be solo, but you can see the rotation already coming out from Monyet. Jump peak will give him the info to.
Udah bisa yuk.
It has been the buy rounds where Genji truly have been.
Ilya dapat. Nah, bagus Ilya. Bisa baca A. Dapat lah. At least 1.
From a blade storm means he can force up here, buy an operator, and potentially have a blade
Aduh.
storm.
Dia kemana lagi anjir? Aduh, gua kira ke A. Malah kececok.
I would definitely put stock in him finding at least the 2 orbs.
Dapat lah Vipernya lah.
We'll see what he can get up to.
It also means they can gamble the control. They've got him holding onto the A site, an aggressive position from Monyet. This is not really the gun you want to have here. Somehow he gets out of there unscathed. They also had an initial setup for players outside C, but after that spot comes through, fading back. Now the cross has already happened, so something now in
Nice.
a position, and honestly, I think Meteor's a little bit
Nah, Ilya at least 1, dapat 1. 3, 2, 1, hope. Nice.
They lose a player right off rip, and it's Texture, the man with the responsibility to take the space to close the distance. Now they'll be a little bit slower on the way around these corners, which is
Ilya,
perfect.
duh, posisinya aduh.
And Munchkin caught him unaware. The same happens with Devi though, leaving it to a 3v2 defensive advantage, and Devi walkabouts. He's been so good. 19 kills, looking for his 20th and his 3rd of the round, and it looks like he might. Oh, he will get the opportunity.
Nice.
Doesn't matter.
Up.
To catch him when he falls. 8-6.
Udah kayak gua main anjir. Nice bonus run, bro. Comeback. Percaya comeback. Nonton PaperX sampai akhir, bro. Menang poin yuk, menang poin. Poin gua menang nih, gua soalnya all in anjir. Di Twitch-nya ditarik lagi, tarik.
this from Gen G. They have players lurking elsewhere. Trap just got broken on B. So now for PaperX, they have to be worried about.
Jangan bandel ya. Jangan bandel please. Nice. Nice. Aduh, nggak dapet anjir. Nice banget sih. Per second dapat 3. Dapat 2. Oh, flashnya cuma 1 doang anjir.
While Munyet finishes this flank, looks like they're aware. Well, they're very much aware that something is going on. I mean, PaperX haven't made a move. Why haven't they? Why are they not trying to fight for any bit of control? And that's not something they'll find an answer to until they plant the spike.
Looks like because they've spotted players near B and they're worried about their
bronze anjir, gue baru ngeh. Badisnya bronze.
Nice work from Meteor. 1 bullet left. And nothing being spotted towards the spawn. This means they know where they are.
Aduh, Thrifty cok.
Meteor's gonna confirm the Mastercard Thrifty.
Haha. Bro, tolonglah ya, bro.
One man with one big gun and one medium gun. Also, very ambitious to go for this. That could have put it to a 1v1 top, but he was having none of it.
That's what I said about this guy. He knows he'll hit the shot. For some reason, when it's him, a 2v2, and he goes, okay, I've got the...
Monyet kenapa nge-pick dulu ya sebelum di flash ya?
And weirdly, he always gets it. That's the thing. Every time I'm sat there going, I'm ready to critique, and then he gets the kill, and I'm like, well, fine then. I guess that was the right play.
Well, uncouth, but it works this time. Certainly caught his opponents off guard with Gen G 9-7 and claiming that round.
Oh.
Have weaknesses. An operator in the hand of something.
Look at where he is.
It's not really an opping angle normally, is it? Oh, nice flash. That's good. But he hasn't got the dash anymore. It's faded out. The Munchkin. Oh, the shot's missed. And Munchkin's been given a second chance at life while the showstopper is again just. Oh, I thought you used for space.
Please. No, yes. Untung jangan nembak anjir. Nice banget anjir. Ngeri. Aduh.
They went aggressive. Made this one problematic. Spike already planted at least. So they're going to have to respect it and just fall back. Munchkin's still holding, and they have a pretty nasty potential crossfire just with the amount of time that can be born. Munchkin is just looking at that clock. That's all he really aiming for.
Upper. Nice. Jason. Nice, Davai. Nice banget.
The PaperX respond in turn. A back and forth so far in this second half. And they close the gap once again to just 1 round.
Mana anjir OP-nya? Di heaven, cok. Di upper. Ini untung banget nih habis nih, Bang. Duxer anjir bisa dapat si something.
You make a decision there. Do you gamble it? Do you not? And well, he chose wrong. Chips on the wrong color. Well, 9-8. And for PaperX, it looks like they've really got their hands dug into those reins. The economy is low. We've seen
Iko. Ya, dapat 1 lah ya.
1 kill from Munchkin, 1 orb, 1 plant. But the main thing is something has got basically
ngedes di depan sih. Nice, dapat 2. Enak banget ini. Tolong Nyet. Nice.
Somehow made this comeback happen. 5-1 in this second half after what was basically, we were at a scoreline where this looked over. What was it, 8-1? And then they went 3 rounds in a row. And that's the thing. You think you don't really
something dapat 2 sih.
Just let the foot off the gas. A few big plays coming out.
Aduh.
Now we're starting to see players rise up. You were mentioning it. The distance between Ducky and everybody else was a lot. Well, something has been closing the gap. I'm also just looking at Mind Freak.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking at him too.
Mind Freak. Aduh, untung Davai santai Vai. Oh. Nice Vai. Woi, bantu dong. Aduh, Davai dapat 2 GG itu anjir.
Viper's pick could change the game. They're trying to get in as quickly as humanly possible, but Meteor's there to defend. Leaves it onto something. As said, he's had a real resurgence. They just fall back to enable reload.
Posisi something. Enak nih. Au. Nice. Ay. Aduh. Anjir. Kenapa Kime? Enggak, belum unggul, Cok. Belum unggul ini, Cok.
For PaperX, an immediate answer back by Gen G, but the fact that it comes down to this, that the Viper is dropped outside the pit, and then that's the result. Clean as can be with a final right click to close it. Gen G, they've got a lot set up in front of them, Tom.
Please dong.
Everybody is just on the rifles. Credits are low. Gen G could be on the home stretch very, very soon, and Forsaken in that corner needs value. They've not seen him. He's got
Aduh, Jason nggak dapat 2.
could be very, very pivotal facts for us as PaperX look to move back through. So many players are low. One extremely low in the corner. It's the rocket.
Nice. Aduh, mati kayak gitu anjir.
That goes down. I don't think they're going to mind that whatsoever to put it back into a 3 versus 3. Something about to try and go through this. His teammates a little bit further behind. No flash available for device, so it's just going to have to be the raw push. Already managing to retrieve a right.
Aduh, something.
Gen G now get a double back. Major worry here for PaperX.
Please, gua berharap Thrifty ini anjir. Berharap Thrifty anjir ini. Something nggak matiin si itu lagi. Si siapa? Lupa kan gua. Si karena apalagi ya lupa gua.
Based off of coin flips, and PaperX managed to just about come ahead. When it came to rifle rounds, they weren't able to succeed. Now early push, it's not quite a rifle. Instead, it's a
Aduh.
fired off. They lay by his side as he falls to the floor.
Aduh. Aduh.
PaperX can do to surprise this Gen G roster in the last few rounds.
Poin gua hilang, Cok.
These players, they have to be feeling the crushing weight of this series. The lower bracket is beckoning them, and there they'll face elimination against the Sentinels who are allowed.
Nice, man, freak.
Easier fight for them than a team that they know. The devil they don't is coming.
Culik lagi dong. Kayaknya susah sih, disiplin banget nih. Aduh. GG ente ini mah boy.
Made a huge overhaul of this roster with risks taken. Players brought back who had been in a Masters right at the beginning of Valorant. A player they got from ranked. And players that have not found success elsewhere. Texture, one I think we can really highlight. Like in G, he was okay. But to go into a Gen G roster that's now playing for a minimum of
Top 3
if they win this match.
Gen G top 3 udah. Hopeless, Cok. Hopeless sudah.
Looking to try and do what no Pacific team has ever done before. Take themselves to a
Top 3 udah, top 3 ini dah. Gen G top 3 dah. Udah firasat gua dari awal top 3 anjir. Udah GG.
Gen G, 3 ultimates to fight their way through. PaperX don't have reactive ones, not impactful ones. Where's the lockdown, the showstopper, and of course the nightfall. Any one of those can open sights, pull you out of sticky situations. Door open. That was the defense.
Aduh, Nyet, tolong dah, Nyet. Alah, Nyet. Apa sih?
well. 3 players left for PaperX, and it looks like they've still got a fight in them. Nightfall won't evade it. He's being caught, but oh, it's fake information. The shrouded step has bought a little bit of an advantage for Mindfreak because he's still alive. His HP recovering.
Ah, GG. Ah, GG. Ya, poin gua coy hilang 18k poin. Aduh.
There it goes. It's popped and it's cleared out this corridor. Devi's even won the fight. The smoke is down. A chance if Mindfreak can make it to Devi. If they can take this fight together, but they don't know where the last players are. And the nade has even forced them back for a second. The time now very low. And with 2 players still to root out, it might be too low. Devi just dodges that siege.
Ah, GG.
Time now. Not to be played with. Okay, no, Texture went out swinging. There's no chance. There's no chance.
GG.
And short of a big misplay, it was never swinging the other way. 13-9 and 13-8. A consistent show on the side of Gen G as they take victory.
Poin gua coy hilang.
It is another huge statement play for
No.
this stage that they wear the crown when it comes to Pacific. That's not the crown they're gunning for anymore. They said it at the time. Their goal was to make it to the playoffs. Well, they've made it there.
Top 3 kan dah.
To push forward in that upper bracket. A team has said that last year didn't really do too much. Didn't really give us much to be excited about. And then bringing together a mix of players that maybe many didn't expect to do well. Definitely didn't expect to get this far. They continue in that upper bracket.
Berarti besok dong. Lusa. Lusa ya. Sabtu.
This second map, although only 1 round in the difference, Tom, this was definitely a much better feeling from the side of PaperX. They earned their way back in from an 8-1 deficit. In the end, but despite that streak of rounds, Gen G take the victory thanks to map number 1, PaperX's pick, where they just didn't get started. Now that's a big concern for them. Moving on to an elimination series next, they won't get a chance to have a slow start. They've got to come out swinging off the bat. For Gen G, they get to watch their opponents play, figure out who it is, take some notes. This is a very nice position to be in, and a chance to make a historical run here in Madrid for their region.
But that's always been the thing. Like, we talk about Pacific teams as a flash in the pan a lot of the time. You look at the Zeta run. You could even throw a Chinese team of EDG in there as well, making a run. PaperX making a run. This Gen G squad, though, it feels different. They have so much depth to them in terms of individual plays, but they have such a solid structure, great trading, and also it just looks like the individuals on that team have leveled up from last year. They look like different players, even if they're in different roles, some coming from the tier 2 as well. They are an absolute joy to watch. And the fact is, I don't know where this ends for them. They could genuinely be there lifting the trophy.
It definitely feels like they have a long road ahead of them. In that road. And the reality is
udah dukung Sentinel lagu anjir. Main front. Need to get duelist, good duelist overall, not a Jing replacement. They have a good jet. They might need a good rest player because my isn't doing this, so they have him play smoker all the time. Ini coach sleepy kan? Cinema rating. Meme. Cinema rating. breaking news. Nah. Estimates HyperX about to lose half of their offense along with a chance to win trophy ever. Now we are cooking. Nah. Nah. Nucun. Lower bracket. Lower bracket. Lower bracket. Lower bracket. Anjir, ini orang nih laki ya udah rehat belum lama. Ya ikut D plus One segala macam ya, kayak internasionalnya kurang lah ya, belum ada gitu. Terus tekstur One Gaming. Oh iya, One Gaming semua ya. Iya ya. One Gaming. Tekstur Solo. Ini belum ada nih. Lagi ya One 2022. Loan doang. Lagi ya Esrela. Estrella. Esperanza. Attention. Tenten ya, Zeta ya, Tenten. Streamer. Streamer. Emang dia umur berapa anjir? 22. Munchkin. Karon sih dulunya di mana anjir? Baru loh. Gila, langsung bus. Karon loh. Ini paling next ini sih. Off sih. Underperform. Meteor. Karon loh. Baru loh. Langsung terjang. Kim Karon Won Tae. Allah. Ganti Sentinel win. Cancel lah. Ada yang main nggak? Lagi apa nih anjir? Lagi main Valok kah? Bagaimana dah? Teman-teman gua pada kayak mana ini? Pada main Valo kah? Valo Jamil. Ling Valorant. Emang gue temenan sama Ling ya? Kimbe. Alah. Play lagi lah. Play. We want to play, let's play. Poin gue hilang, cok. Lihat Funky dong. Halo bang, gue nggak main bang. Lagi WP, watch party bang.
Oke. Siap.
Match found.
Kimbe.
Death match. Warm up.
Nembak apaan sih anjir?
My smokes can block the enemy's line of sight. Once they're blind, we move.
Fight!
Together!
Alah, cipai.
Enemy down. Gotcha.
Ngendok kesini aja.
Who trained you?
Ngendok sini aja boy. Aduh 130 coy. Lah, di situ ada Kimbe.
Down you go.
$135. Banyak amat tuh HP. 130.
Out of here.
Lah. Ya Tuhan, gue mau nembak situ loh.
That's 3.
Dominating.
Dupai.
Kills remaining.
Cipai. Lah. Lah.
5 kills remaining.
Woohoo! Cimek.
One kill remaining.
Wah. Yang la ta 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 ra 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 ta ta cha 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 cha. Ini udah mulai ya? Oh belum. Poin gue 0. SEN versus ganti dulu dah. SEN versus load. Kok nggak mau sih anjir? Loh.
He's the consistent member of this squad. With Osmus out of the team, he's the #1 guy you have to look towards. He's
you know how it's like when the team gets that synergy in order to win championships. I'm curious how this level of synergy has been from like the beginnings of this roster all the way up here to Masters Madrid. What's that journey felt like? We have Arthur here to help with some translation.
Oi, Les. Então, primeiramente, eu gostei que você estava ali, mandando uma vibe bem legal. A gente quer saber, você está desde o início com a galera, com o time, e agora com esse novo roster, vocês estão com a sinergia. A sinergia tá boa? Como é que tá a sinergia de vocês agora até o campeonato?
A gente tá começando a evoluir, né? Querendo ou não, tô no início do ano. A gente tá com um jogador novo, staff nova, então a gente tá planejando a longo prazo, mas estamos evoluindo aos poucos no campeonato.
Overall, step by step, we're evolving not only in the championship because we also have a new player. We're working on with like new staff as well. So I would say we're just on the way evolving because overall it's the beginning of the year as well.
Well, eager to see the next step. Keep that vibe going and best of luck.
Thank you.
No confiaron, pero míralo. Llego con los míos y la grada explota. Le di la razón al que me quiso ver bien. Lo soñé en mi habitación y ahora en primera me ven. No te hablo del avión. Vine por mi cinturón. No confiaron, pero míralo. Llego con los míos y la grada explota. No confiaron, pero míralo. Llego con los míos y la grada explota.
These are two of the best teams Americas have to offer, but being here is about being the best in the world. And as it stands at this stage, it does feel like both of them have a great chance.
It's the new versus the old guard for Americas in this match. It's the third time they've played this year, and we're already into the veto, Mike. These teams have a lot of similarities in their strengths, and I think we're going to expect to see maps like Sunset, maps like Icebox that was just picked that both these teams love to play. This, honestly, what we're getting already is a bit of a rematch of that finals.
Yeah, definitely. Well, actually, yeah, with Sunset to round things out. Concern, a massive concern to kick things off on Split. Obviously, two very polarizing results, obviously, regionally looking back at this, but last one being a 13-3. Sentinels absolutely slap loud about.
Yeah, Split is far and away the best map for Sentinels that we have seen thus far. They look lights out on that. In particular, their defense, their protocols, the way they set up for the retake, everything has been on point. And yes, so much of it is Zekken, and so much of it is also John QT. It feels like his calling is perfect on the defensive side of that map, on how this team sets up. This first map's going to be a challenge for Loud.
Yeah, just how close do you think this will be, though? Because the first match we saw today, very, very one-sided. Also, what we expected expected. But Hypok, do you feel like it favors one team or another coming into this?
I'll be honest, I do give the edge to Sentinels here. I don't think we're going to have a very clear-cut series, though. I think Loud may be looking to reinvent themselves once again and have that bounce-back factor. I don't think this is going to be an easy run.
Yeah, the question for me is what has Loud changed? Because they haven't had to really show their split since that grand final. So there has been a bit of time to kind of look back, see what went wrong there. But even the best teams haven't been able to beat SEN there. I look more towards the rest of this pool. I think Icebox and Sunset, both teams are incredibly close on how they play. In particular, Icebox leads towards Louds. I really expect us to get a third map, to get Sunset, and that's so exciting because these teams are both excellent at the map, but with very different reads. One playing the Breach and the Phoenix, the other playing the Gecko composition. Both have these great retakes. Both have really cool ideas for how they take space on the map. Really hoping we get there.
Yeah, and I also, you mentioned a little bit of doubt perhaps in Sassy here, but Hypok, he's going up against Sadag. You know, they've been looking forward to this matchup for a long time. As we take a look at the Agent Select, how much pressure do you think is going to be on his shoulders?
Well, no surprise to see the compositions come out, but I do think it is a little bit concerning Sassy's performance in areas. But I mean, you could argue again, it's another one of those familiar opponents at very, very comfortable ground, and obviously regionally, Sassy's performances were above what we've seen so far in Madrid.
Sentinels are starting on the attack. A lot of this comp is built around how in the mid-round they take space for Zekken. I think shutting down Zekken has to be a priority for Loud. He is looking like the best player in the event right now, and if he can keep that up in this one, if he can get the openers for Sentinels, give JunQt those options in the mid-round, the way they've been able to for most of this tournament, it's going to be really tough for Loud to recover.
Yeah, well, I've just been told that Brand and Sideshow are in fact contractually obligated to cast every single Sentinels game. So here they are, over to you guys.
That's extremely true. We have so much influence and power, actually, over Riot Games here at the caster desk. But excited to get started. Well, our second match of the playoffs, and it's bound to be a barn burner. We've already had it, you know, a sneak peek of it, at least. In the regional finals, these two teams clashed, and they're kind of taking over that mantle now. You know, me and you, Josh, we were talking about it just before we got into the game, but, you know, you think of that Optic Core versus Loud matchup. That was, you know, El Clasico. And now maybe to pass into the torch over to this one. We've seen Sentinels versus Loud now many, many times so far in 2024, and it's always pushed both of these teams to great heights.
It's possible that we'll see it even later on in the playoffs too. We've yet to really discover which of these teams are going to be able to battle it out against each other and make it deep in a playoff kind of situation. Gen G looks scary. You do not want to be in the lower bracket if they end up down there at some point. Obviously, PaperX no pushovers either. But yeah, this is a really cool regional matchup that you have between these two teams. You know, last year we only had one regional title in Americas to fight over. That was Loud that ended up taking it away. This year with Kickoff, Stage 1, Stage 2, we're going to have 3 potential opportunities for regional fights like also all of
Nge-lag anjir. Apa nih? Tiba-tiba udah 1-0.
Certainly hope so. Less Korani open no man's land, so he will fall.
And I think what you're seeing, at least at the beginning of this game, is SEN taking a very slow approach. That's a big kill. Tengkyuuuuuuuuuu going down on A means that this side of the map no longer has any offensive threat.
Ooh, second reactions there. Fault line stand up. Well, there it is. The classic damage coming through. Flash in the end as well, so Tens is shortly behind him, but a flash repeat. Kawazine can't get too much.
Ngedodge-nya kenapa cepet ya?
2 years.
Gua nggak bisa loh, belum bisa loh.
No. And Sentinels were forced to accelerate there once John ended up dying because they don't have information about what's happening on the other side of the map. But if you want to talk about info as it relates to these compositions, Loud constantly need to be jiggle peeking corners, need to be going for those proactive explorations.
Let's go.
That's going to incentivize Sen to play a little
Sebat
slow,
nggak sih?
to try to punish the jump peaks and see if they can get damage or kills that way, to try to punish the info pushes into mid.
Sentinel menang nih anjir.
Loud can't always run
No
around
cap.
the map pushing on defense with utility because it just makes it so obvious where they're playing. It's a difficult comp to play on defense.
It just get even harder as well when Sen end up swapping sides. They look like one of the better teams here at this event when it comes to their split. Largely due to their retakes. For Sentinels though, standard. The util being thrown out wide here for that ramp control early. Now setting their sights out into the A. Sarak!
Gile.
Tuck nice and tight and safe and really just buying time for the rest of
Iya, pelornya habis. Kalau nggak habis itu bisa menang anjir Sadak. Ya, nice bonus anjir.
Bit of a blunder there for Loud, offering Sen another opportunity to get back into it. Not planted for Evan. Oh, and the pick goes down to now.
Welcome to my war.
I mean, look at the way that Loud are clearing this. They're expecting a reflank back up.
Holding. Usually going to be the bread and butter of a team like Sentinels, just trying to fight, scale for it. That paranoia, the timing on it. It's immaculate as soon as the nade comes through. Yep, just hearing it. Tucked to the corners. Sassy removed. Taken out now, just 2 will stand. And it could be just a bit of random spray, a bit of random spam that saves the day for them. Celsius traded. Pip going down. Tens 1v1. Doesn't really have to gun for it as a bulldog, but will it be all bark or all bark?
Nice.
Tends to be the latter when Tens is wielding it.
Great clutch there. Enormous round for Sen to be able to pick up. The momentum piling
Nice banget anjir.
as they win the bonus and knock Loud's economy down. And what a fumble after Sadak's able to get a 2k at the beginning. And it's a 5v3. The stun just comes through a little too late for Sadak to be able to follow up on. And then the flood that comes out is late too. And they've taken a huge player advantage situation set up by their IGL.
Keep playing together.
Tossed it away.
Glimpses of the comms there as well. Keep playing together. Fundy's on show for Sen. Winning that bonus round is amazing.
And I do think that that's such a key. You know, Loud thrive against teams that opt into the individualism. You saw what they did to EDG. Oh yeah, it was a massacre.
No chances, no gaps when they're playing against that. I mean, you can argue as well a team like Loud had a relatively easy path into playoffs. Only beating out the Chinese representatives at Madrid.
Neither of whom played that well in their games against Loud.
Put up a fight, really, did they?
But having said that, we know that Loud are an extremely
Kastun 2.
When they're on.
Sassy feeling the danger there. The dog spotting out too.
Wih, rame banget boy mid.
That is so much info. John's like, guys, there can't be anybody B because they're all looking at me in mid.
Lucky to not pay with it with his life. Nade waiting. Loud.
Ya si Zekan ini tipikalnya nggak agresif, Cok.
Follows through with a snake bite exchanging, the handshake dropping down. Sadak was alone there. There wasn't really much to do with in terms of the follow-up. They have to face it wide though with the aftershock being played for. So much damage done to these Loud players. Positionings known and noted, and so Fury survive into it with Zekan picking up threes. One away now from the big critical.
Dah GG anjir. Sentinel menang anjay.
Yeah, and this is the problem once you start snowballing forwards. Loud are going to be one away from having a broken economy again, and and Sen are starting to get up to key ults. Look how nice as well the Sentinel's utility usage is when they get into a plant scenario. Zekkyn's holding nade to try to deny somebody who might try to stop the plant, but he's also ready to throw counter utility with that nade as soon as the retake starts happening. They know how Loud are going to play, and they've already prepped the counter to stop them.
Truly one-sided affair. I want to see some bite back from Loud, really.
Well, this is interesting. Zelsis went for an orb lineup that's all the way into mid there. You see how there's two battle orbs layered on top of each other. And that's going to disincentivize what Loud have been going for. This is Sentinel's Viper orb in mid there. You're going to take a lot of damage if you want to try and fight mid. If you're Loud. And that's, broadly speaking, what Loud have been doing on this defense side so far. Only 4 rounds in, though.
Dog right on cue there. At the minute mark. It's going to be broken for a bit of that mid-round information, but only shown by the one player, so... Loud still left scratching their heads ever so slightly in terms of wondering where this might land, but they are starting to guess now correctly with the Seekers as they're pointing them directly into the right targets.
Sassy's going to pick up the ult orb and get Seekers himself.
Seconds left. Which direction is this going to go into? They've still got 2 players planted into mid here for Sen, but the spike over towards A, they are struggling to get themselves in. Push and pull, ebb and flow of the map, not really working out in Sen's favor, and they need openings and they need options right now, maybe to be granted to them. A bit of spray with the damage, the bullets going wide, but this is such a difficult setup to break into.
20 seconds left.
What are they even going for here? Slowing it down, but really time is going to be 15. The worst enemy. It's a team flash. QT there, close to the corner, cut to wide. Satchel through. Kawazin still
Gelo.
the corner. Sassy planting the balls on the man to go for that one out wide for a heaven plant. The wrap around. Now Zelsis becomes a key player in the game.
He's managed to pick up his orb and reposition it too, so he's got more control over towards heaven. So easy set to try to blind somebody playing elbow. Tenza's already repositioned up top.
No follow-up off of that flash. It's all Kawazin with the stun finally now to try and at least attempt that reclear, but you're going to have to be giving this one up. They don't have positioning at all. Zelsis is backed away, playing a really passive position. 10 spots it, backs away, not favored for that fight. And they've won out the at least critical ones. Now no mollies for Zelsis.
Less is holding it.
Less is holding
Aduh.
watching for it.
That was really nicely done there by Loud. Coming back in, they had so many different things that they needed to navigate. You saw that there was no follow-up on the paranoia. That's because they're expecting some utility in response or aggression in response. Look how good Kawazin is at being able to deal with Zekkyn flying over the top of him too. Unless, as usual, the backbone when it comes to fragging, winning duels against Tens and Zelsis to shut the round down. That's where you see the slower pace of Sen get punished. If Loud are not going to give them things in the mid-round, give them openings to punish, you've still got to be able to make your own success with the executes at the end of the day.
Jadi uang kembaliannya di mana ya?
Familiar
Oh ya, di
setup.
celana gue ya.
Doesn't look like there's
Lupa
the
loh.
same Viper orb that's being thrown out.
No, not this time.
Not from Zelsis.
The other thing that's amazing about that Viper orb though too is it keeps people in mid because you could lurk through it.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be seeing that one come out to play a little more.
But a presence shown though, now with a boombot.
Touch tips.
Yeah. Handshake.
QCK
grouping up for A.
QCK and Kawazin are really close to huge ultimates too. So Loud being able to put that previous round on the board is just so huge for them to stop the bleeding. Everything was red.
It's a lot that could happen right here now with 50 seconds left. QCK shows it, body checks the dog, breaks it down. Now he's one away from a large hold of his own. Onto heaven control, but now here it is. Showstopper. Fault line to stop this one. Zekkyn was blind as anything. No way with the movement. Just evades capture. Still low enough though. Tens now with a TP into the back of the side. That was not punished, and it is that full retake protocol. But already ram control game for Loud. Look at them clearing that so damn proactively.
Meanwhile, Zelsis is so far away from the rest of the squad, just trying to find the timing for a late lurk. He might be too late.
There's a kill.
Aduh.
Showstopper finally online. Rocket round.
Dapat lagi anjing. Nice stance.
Has to do the most now. He stands his ground and wins his one out. Kawazin falling outside though.
It's been slowed down.
To Molly to push him out of position. Zekkyn.
Zelsis is here.
Finally. Arriving to the party though, Util in his hand, Sanek adjusts it and watching for it. Tens now 1v2. The double face is there. Terrific together. It's 2 years. His partner partner in crime, Mr. Sadak himself. So with that defuse online, that's going to be that second round on the board. And Loud starting to get a handle now in terms of how to tackle these Asus.
Yeah, finding the timing there to re-push ramp before Sentinels were anywhere near set up for it, right? Sen's general game plan is we're going to get to site, we're going to have some kind of post-plan idea for aggression, or a backup plan like Celsius.
Gelo.
But if you can find the timing between them going to site and setting up the next play, which Loud did, you can be very disruptive. And also, one of the big crucial factors in round 5 and 6 to Loud winning is that they just had players able to take ones and win duels. You saw 10s at the end there. We've seen him do magic in those positions sometimes before. But Loud is shooting back. Might sound reductive, but it's very important. Here's that same orb lineup, but this time it's just going to go straight into a pit. I don't think that's going to have the value that Celsius was hoping for. Kind of risky to go and retrieve it too.
Yeah. But it's lost, isn't it? Can't really be reclaiming it unless you have a plan to re-clear, which is stacking bodies, don't get me wrong. Just hoping that a few stray bullets might land into the cranium of less, but he's tucked to safety, making sure the pit will stay up.
If Sen get a read that Loud are playing heavy over mid at the start of these rounds, which they generally are, there's normally 2, sometimes 3 players there, Sen might be able to make an adjustment and go for more burst executes. But all of this is so based on having a read of what your opponents are doing in this match. And they will be changing it up compared to the last time they faced off.
Re-clear called, it looks like it was the dog John QT. He's been pushed forwards now, tucked. And there it is, kill, claimed, QCK, fault line.
Aduh, Kimbe.
But still, the trade online, the call's being made to try and speed up the play now into B, but already that Yuto, look at it. I mean, the paranoia, the smoke drops out.
Aduh.
Into mid, Sassy not rewarded for it. Tens has the spike here, looking eager potentially to take some fights here, but has to stick the plan now towards default. But his team do have his back and more.
Nice banget. Celsius, cok.
Creeping and crawling, he managed to weave his way into the site there while all that chaos was going on.
Ih, gue kira udah ngeplan anjir.
And that was a tricky round for Sen to be able to convert. When John QT goes down over towards A, Sen are forced. Their hand has to go B. And Tui's knew it was happening. The Loud players were there, and yet Sen come out on top anyway. Celsius destroys that attempt to flood retake. Dodge the flash and pick up both players. Sen, they are running away with this a little now. Getting to dangerous territory. Loud put 2 on the board with some slow, nice retakes, but now the economy's broken again.
Yeah, strange, isn't it? How that ends up working out, but quite salvage will keep any of the money running.
Sentinel ini menang. Champion.
At least with the flash, they know that nobody's close, tucked to the corner. A lot of players now looking for a punish on the John QT. He's been noted that he plays here a lot, solo play. They're just going to posture and pick up the orb.
And if they can find a pick on John QT and push him away, it'll create timings where Loud can worry about the rest of the map. And I think they've got a very good read that John is playing solo A lot. That's an expectation that maybe Sentinels can mess with a little, but at the moment, Loud.
Berarti player yang selalu menang itu si siapa? Yang dari Fnatic itu lupa gua. Itu 3 kali. Terus yang ini Setchi ya kemungkinan. Ini masih itu sih yang itu. MT champion. Siapa sih lupa gue namanya. Ah pokoknya itulah.
Budging. Kawazine looks to be the contact for a paranoia play that's being held around the back now. The nade flying forwards, close quarters, still doesn't win it out with a stinger, and the backside players are brutalized, eviscerated. Sadak goes for the flash repeat. Celsius, safety in numbers.
What a swing and great dodging movement by John as well. Can Les pick this up?
D3.
He's been a monster.
He's got the rifle to do it still. There's going to be no gaps there, not with Sentinels. They know who they're up against.
And another round where Sen, it looks dangerous on the mini-map. You see them walking into the trap. QCK even manages to get one. But everyone on Sen is playing really tight together. Making sure that they can trade, making sure the spacing's excellent. It is. Absolute cinema. And they're running away with this. If you wanted to have an expectation coming into Split, I think it's a little difficult. Because the 2 times we've seen these teams play before, one was an extremely close split. The Loud ended up winning, with Sadak just popping off at the end of the game to drag him over the line. And the other was a flattening. It was Sentinels just utterly, tactically dominating the game. And this is looking to me to be more like the latter. Obviously, the scoreline would suggest that, but the approach, the way that SEN is so patient around the map, dealing with everything that Loud threw at them. I think that time, having been the first team to qualify for playoffs, has been used very wisely.
Oh yeah, rest and rejuvenation. I mean, listen, I've seen these players wandering around the hotel, and the coaches, Kaplan and Drew. They had very dark bags under their eyes, but now they've finally been able to get some sleep.
And you
Jokes. Gimana ini Jokes?
Popping off, making sure he's communicating what he wants to be adjusted heading into this. Tack timeout taken for Loud. Are they going to be able to find the adjustment that gets them a little bit of a cushion to work with? Because the economy has just never been in a good spot.
No. Really quite vital round coming up here, just because of what you mentioned, the economy situation. Is a deep fault line. That's just off the rip from Kawazine into market, but there wasn't really much to follow through with it. Looks like maybe it was just to set up B main control for 2 years.
Now look how difficult this is from Les and Kawanzine's point of view. You know, when this orb goes up, it's very difficult to know if someone on SEN is just quietly taking the timing through. And so these A players have to be cautious, concerned.
I've got your trail.
Little portion of the round though, with a minute 10 onto the clock. You can see those Seekers offloaded, pointing in various different directions, but it doesn't really give SEN an indicator. They do know that the Mail is going to be free, or not Mail, but Ropes itself.
Yeah, that Seeker went a long way before it hit Kawanzine over in A Heaven. So SEN have a pretty good idea that that path to A Heaven is fairly uncontested. And the dog here actually might give such bad information.
It's broken.
It didn't see the second player of John QT. We'll see what SEN end up going for. Certainly relying a lot on the mid-rounding here from John, rather than having set game plans going into the rounds.
Sadak Seekers of his own now, spotting all the way through into mid. Everybody bursting through. Now the snake bite. Used on the Q as he hears that Trailblazer. Where's the follow through now from the rest of the team? B main lost control of this one. There's going to be questions asked now of a lot of these Loud anchoring players. They want to give it up entirely. Don't want anything to do.
Yeah. That paranoia thrown from Tens is lovely. Would have caught anybody over towards Rafters, and yes, the time is low, but look how devastating this looks to retake.
How do you do this now? Yes, you have a rolling thunder, but it's going to be utilized hopefully now to clear through into the bit. They've got timing from Sassy, and yet he's caused all the distraction in the world. Gets out with his life, close to the corner, cut him up. Still, John QT. Fully tacked his quality time now with the whole family as he's sat back into the spectator. CQCK forward. Leading it with the team, but it's already wrapped around, so they got to expect the Sassy.
Nice, Sassy.
Clearance. Not enough. 2 years TP adjustment. He's on that high ground position, just propped up. But Les now needs to get more done, and he can't do it. It's going to come down to just a bit of spray and pray. But already time ticking, so 2 years, no chance in hell.
And it's another situation, Bren, where Loud cannot get any level of economic cushionry going.
GG anjir, udah GG anjir, GG. Sentinel, coy juara ini, juara udah.
Sadak came into the round trying to inform the rest of his team. It did not work. They weren't ready for Sassy here in B Heaven. They weren't ready for Sassy again once he repositioned into B main. It completely disrupted.
Sentinel belum ketemu Genji ya?
The timing could not have been more perfect.
Belum anjir.
Center working this map. I mean, it's a masterclass.
Yeah.
Speed running it.
It really is. There was a lot of talk coming in based on their regional performances on Split that they might have the best split in the world. And you know, I was saying, be cautious. We haven't seen them play up against all the other teams in the world, but man, is it looking clean. I think the believers in the Sentinels split are getting their beliefs confirmed every time we watch it.
Yeah, now heavy group up. The weaker buy here from Loud using that Trailblazer, trying to be fast onto the approach. Chance here, Zekken tries to adjust the spray, expecting players to swing from that left side. Tens evacuating, has a paranoia still left to play for, but the mollies are really clearing him out of position. What's the call now for Loud? Looks like a pivot.
Yeah, very mobile though. They've made it feel like it's ramp and they're already pressuring the screens. There's still a trip here for John.
Stins is in their spawn, where they buy guns.
They don't have a clue. I mean, they've just caused them to all just be looking backwards as well. Les didn't have any sort of idea. He was just watching in case it was in mid 2 years. One with a rifle, but no longer. Dropped to the floor, dropped to the...
Aduh, mama sayang he.
And it's not really Tens that makes the round-winning play, but I think it was that Cypher trip coming from John. He popped it over towards screens. I believe that's how Cowanzine ended up falling off screen. Zels has got a double spray down. Have a look here. Blinded up. Yep, hits the trip.
Oh, yeah.
And also gets QCK killed because he's right behind him. So it just gives the perfect timing and positioning for Zelsis to go for that spray. I mean, everything is working here for Sen. It must be devastating for the Loud morale. Bear in mind, you have a full BO3 ahead of you, and you knew that you wouldn't be favored here, but it is still going to be mentally difficult to bring your spirits back up.
Hopefully have that experience in spades. Oh my, showstopper. Let loose there. There is the trade online from Kawazini. Followed up with the stun at least, but his high ground angle of 10s drops down, gives him
Aduh.
just taking a wide peek by himself, man. Taking a fight by himself. Yeah, there's back up there, but
GG lah. GG coy, GG coy, GG coy.
Yeah, player advantage situation, looking lovely for them. One away from a showstopper too. Sen, they're going to be able to get a plant down here. They're pretty certain that A is completely clear. They saw so many people fighting over mid. But this one is going to be tough, and Loud cannot afford to throw it away.
Yeah, just watching for it. Look at that. Loud. Great awareness, knowing that Sen are going to have to be playing a bit more proactively, making the moves into the post-plan situation. Sassy is the lone survivor. Gets shut down by his former squad.
And so Sen, for about the first time in this half, tried to do something fast at the start of the round. And that actually results in Loud getting the round win. Right? Every other round, we've seen Sentinels with a tortoise-like pace to the beginning of these, making sure that they are cautious, diligent about everything. And as soon as they step forward to try to take the fight, Loud are so happy. These players behind Zekken just got wide swung and minced.
Crucially as well, final round of this first half, the money's looking good, the ult's even better. Showstopper for QCK. Can play really much more aggressively now that he's got that one.
And the silver lining, if they can get to 4, if they can win a pistol, maybe it's doable. But they've got to be securing those wins.
Actually, with the round to the revenge.
Pengen main Valo sih anjing gua.
Viper does throw a lot of just chaos into the mix. I mean, look at the amount of Loud players. It's just gathered all the way into mid to watch it. They've got 3 players checked and ready.
Yeah. And Tense is still holding counter utility over towards B main. That timing was looking pretty good. Just.
Now that they've spotted the up though, the call's been made to contact in through B main. So Sen have just got themselves a freebie there. Can now utilize this. Ult forward.
Ah!
No way! And now no value to be found there. Out wide once more. Still QCK's on a swivel.
Alah.
Vulnerable him up. Pushed him out into the open.
Ultinya kemana itu boy? Nggak kena.
To slow this one down, but it looks like Sen have no intention of it. Forward positions once more. Kawazin drops down from the ropes here, spraying down, but he's disjointed from the rest of his team. Kawazin out wide. The reset. Oh, rolling thunder lifts him up in the air, sky high, and then one player standing towards the back as a crossfire setup, but the aftershock is elite.
Kelo Chuanzin.
On for so much more. An ace on the cards. Less to stick. This one comes down to the spam, but John is stunned. Top, he's going to be out wide. He's going to be forced wide. Knows it. Info gathered now, but another stick now. Less finally to trust. Maintained.
Aduh, Chuanzin reload.
Might be punished. The top out. Force with a jiggle. John QT. Balls of steel.
Kelo. Kelo. John Kitty. Kelo, sumpah. Kelo. Ini.
Les was still on the spike. Unbelievable timing from John. And Cowanzine had done so much. More than anyone could have been asked to do. But the timing on that, of when to take the fight in the 1v2, was utterly superb.
Kalem anjir John Kitty. Gelo sumpah. Sinting John Kitty.
Hello, I'm John Curie and I'm the IGL for Sentinels. We definitely did a lot of mistakes and we looked rough. We've had 2 rough days, but we made sure to rally the team, everyone stay focused on the goal, and we won 2-0. I watched all of their VODs. I even came here and just spent all my time watching Split and Lotus. I've noticed their patterns and what they like to do, what's their tendencies. So it wasn't that hard to like kind of like.
Ini asetnya banyak anjir, semua di record yang clutch, yang S segala macem diklipin. Oke, ini siap, ready. Oke, tes di play. Berat, cok.
The mobility, the confidence, both working in tandem. He's on for the ace.
Obviously, the team has been through very like lows after the 2021 Reykjavik, so it hasn't been all rainbow and sunshine.
John Kitty.
I'm lucky to say we've only had
John Kitty.
Everything is going great right now, but we're still process oriented and like goal oriented. Even if we lose, we still make sure that to keep it like consistent and not really like worry about the comments.
Consistency is key at the end of the day. It's clearly working out for Sentinels. I mean, he was talking about it. They had time in the off-season. They've been winning a lot, but you know, with that comes a lot of hard work. They've shown some of the most maps of any teams coming into the kickoff, coming into the entirety of this year. But part of that is just them honing these map pools, you know? Questions placed onto their split. Why do teams keep letting it through? Well, the reality is, it's a middle ground map for most teams.
Certainly true. Loud have come into this perma-banning Lotus, and you know, Sen's Lotus looks good. That means you have to go towards this. So pistol round. Loud decided to take a ramp control at the start. Sen wanted to fight over mid, but there was nobody there. Loud has still got some people really far away from the action.
Real fast. There's no connection there, so Les is able to just QT. It's just this watchful eye onto it. There's a gap into the smoke. Maybe a bit unintentional there. Maybe just a bit rushed from 2 years.
Sen are also expecting there to be more players on site right now. Like, okay, well, where are the other two players for Loud? They lost track a little bit of where Kalanzine and Tui's could be, and now they've lost a lot of map info too. There are still chances here for the Loud players to turn things around, but this silent jump spot not gonna be punished.
Comes down to a couple of obstacles, really.
And look at the rest of Sen. Tripled up, re-clearing areas of the map, trying to regain some information, making sure that they don't offer any 1v1s.
Yeah, methodical.
30 seconds.
You know the win conditions of Loud right now. And against it, slowly creeping forwards, making sure to regain some of that map control. No kill found onto Kawazine. Less a chance, really, for him to bite back and fight back. Here it is. Return of the fire, 10s from the wraparound. 2 years running all the way through. He knows the time's against him. So, pistol round does not go the way of Loud there. Sentinels, again, looking like just a map.
This could be extremely similar to the last time we
John
saw
Kitty. Ketenangan.
It's just enormous. That paranoia, by the way, too, lovely from Tens. They didn't know, as far as I'm aware, that Les was in that position, and Tens just sensed that could be dangerous.
Keep it up. Small windows, but
now Loud they've got to force. Right? You're down 3 to 10. You didn't win the pistol. You need some momentum.
All relying on this one. That full investment. No money left standing. Tripstow to stop them in their tracks. They try and take control of this. The dog broken before it even triggered into it. They do find it. Reface, Celsius, that is incredibly brave. Well, second following through with the bullets as well as Stinger. That's just a wide bit of a gap there still. Sentinel's fully aware of all potential possibilities right now. Sadak has been pushed forwards into this deep angle and approach. That trip broken, there was a chance of a timing.
Sassy's going to re-explore. He's very favoured in a fight against 2Es unless 2Es gets the jump on him.
No way!
Oh.
That's bonkers.
That's got the one pick, but there's no real follow-up there with the players. I mean, they can't really react appropriately. Sends the util flying.
It's pulling Zelsis over. It is making the A site weaker here.
Second on QT, though. Cam back back online. It's going to be spotting the crossover.
30 seconds left.
There it is. Camera taken out. Going to be calling out now that they could have been compromised towards spawn, but now time running against them. Loud, going to move on. Cages propped up, pushed up. Behind it, JohnQT can't follow through after that trip. There's a smoke in his face. It does make it quite dangerous, quite difficult. Still, it's a bit of run and gun in action.
Gile.
Really excellent teamwork and anchoring again there from Sen. Didn't have a cage for
John Kitty. Twitch-nya apa sih? Gue pengen follow Twitch-nya. Follow. Gelo anjir.
All over the place for Sen on this map. They've refined it so well. And Loud, that force smacked of desperation. Down 3-11 with only sheriffs to work with. This one is a GG go next.
Udah GG. GG next dah.
And the other two maps here are going to be, even if Loud were to win them, very hotly contested. It's not like Loud have a map themselves that they are guaranteed to dominate on.
No, they've got a Sisyphus level fight ahead of them, honestly. Uphill battle. Icebox, both of these teams quite favoured on their attack side. Sunset, I would give the edge to Sentinels.
Yeah.
So even if you do win on that second map to extend the series, it looks dire still. Anything can happen. Team like Loud, being around the block, they might be down and out right now, but they have that experience to maybe rally themselves here. They need a few more though. Openings not going to be given to them. Defensive setup for Sentinels just a little bit too strong, too well honed.
Yeah, everything looks... They've crossed every T, dotted every I. You heard John talk about it too when he said the devil's in the details, right? What makes a team excellent is
Berharap apa anjir ini? Debol-ebol.
It's all the small things, the little interplays between players.
Teronya diebol-ebol, defendernya aduh susah masuk anjing.
Smoke this spot, knowing to always throw this nade in this particular way. And on split here, Sen approaching some levels of perfection on this map in the current meta. They are ahead of the game here.
True flattening.
And it's going to strike fear into the hearts of anybody else, because if you have a perma, you have to let this through.
Yeah, playing split against Sen, I mean, almost guarantees. They've only lost it a few handful of times. One of them to this team that they're playing against now, Loud, but it was the kind of team. Their losses, re-clearance called here with a flash and a paranoid. Well,
good counter
good one, yeah, from Kawazine.
Yeah, very important counter flash there. Sen are trying to set up plays like this because they have looser weaponry to work with. The two Spectres, the Bulldog. So we get to see a slightly more aggressive version of their setup.
So goes the ebb and flow of the map.
But there are still chances for Sen to win this round and just dominate with the same scoreline that they did.
Flash rifle, bloody hell, that's a lot of damage and a retreat. Covered and watched for. Celsius just swinging wide, a bit of run and gun in the reaction. Called now from Loud. Into the site, will they be able to get the plant down? Looks like they will do so. Too much pushback.
There isn't very much retake utility here for Sen. Normally their retakes are amazing, but there's really only a boombot to work with.
Waiting for the right timings. I mean, the smoke up. 1 second here for 10's. Going to be using it probably to block off the angles. Just jiggling for now. There it is, actually dividing up the site. Paranoia flying with the fault line. Time. Time to tick. A crucial kill. Celsius falling on top heaven. TP forwards. Backside control, at least partitioning in it and trying to take it wide. Still with that util online. The aftershock does push him away. Attack from JohnQT, but forcing the fights out into the open. The snake bites plenty of.
Aduh, ente boy.
Into that one, just understanding how to play that fully, just using the util.
And it's officially now a closer game than it was during the grand final, where Sen won 13-3. It doesn't feel much closer.
No. I mean, this round almost a givey.
Wah, satu lane sih, Cok.
Bonus, you know, Sen didn't have as much util available to them, but still, you know, Loud. One round at a time, it's all the way, you got to take it.
Yeah, and we've seen them pull off big comebacks before. And we've seen them lose leads before as well, but listen, we won't talk about that one.
We won't talk about it. We'll mention it a few times.
Look at the timing there, just beautiful. Great read that Les was going to go for an aggro lurk.
less dropped. I mean, this is your star player. This is a guy you're expecting to put up massive numbers, who's going to offset that mechanical advantage that a team like Sentinels might have with players like Second, like Tens. The desk was talking about it. When he's shut down here, your chances begin to dwindle. Trip in their face. There's no
Nice banget anjir.
deal with that one. Should have known it was there, surely, if they were walking all the way up.
Bah. GG. Dah GG. Ah, kan mulai troll kan? Enggak troll sih. Kena net sih. Ah, kan GG udah. GG. Dah. Udah pasti nih anjir Sentinel menang. Oke. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for today. See you next stream. Sampai ketemu di streaming selanjutnya. Besok. Gue nggak sih. Gak tau lah. Atau lusa. Ya. Sampai ketemu di streaming selanjutnya. Jangan lupa klik like, subscribe, and see you. Bye-bye.